spirit?
It was horrible. It was insane what we saw from, like everyone feels like they are the team to win every tournament, more or less. They're always number 2, top 3 favorites to win a tournament, and they are like just destroyed. They didn't show anything.
The world is changing quickly. Clear. Shut up.
The world is changing, but one thing remains the same. Victories with 1xBet.
Sell in-game items at the best prices in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. Skin Place. Sell items now.
Since the dawn of CSGO, we have been there. Observers of all that competition can reveal. Elation, fear, triumph and heartache reach out from every frame. From the small studios and conference rooms to the epic arenas, the feeling is still the same. We live and breathe this game. This was CSGO Through the Lens. Buy now at hltv.org/shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans around the globe, welcome to another episode of HLTV Confirmed, live from Cologne, here at XPERION. Hello, everybody. That's what we wanted to hear. All right. The third year we've been here at XPERION in Cologne for IEM Cologne. Quick shout out to the sponsor. We've just got one of them this time around, at least for all intents and purposes for this live show. It's Skin Place, where you can go. I was working on something here. I thought like Skin Palace, the place where the royalty go to buy their skin, but it's Skin Place, skin.place. They're the new sponsor of the show, and well, I guess you know what you could find there, Prof.
It's definitely skins, and we all love skins. Is that right?
Yeah. They didn't get a great reception there. You want to try that again?
Is that right? Oh, let's go.
There we go. Look, Prof and Striker joining me as always. We've got some guests tonight. Saul going to be joining us. We got Yanko. We got Maniac coming in. We got Denis. We got an individual from the NXT team here for XPERION. His name's Rhyzar. We'll be chatting to him. And we'll be covering off everything IEM Cologne. Gentlemen, you have just arrived. You just got in, which I'm sure at least half of our audience is German. I asked this before, but who's a Cologne local?
No,
okay.
Just a few.
Only a couple Cologne locals. So where are we talking about coming from? Are people coming from like Berlin? Oh, so let's see how many German cities I know. Munich? Okay, we're going to have to name all the Germany.
Very loud guys from Munich.
Like Frankfurt? All right. Dusseldorf? What else do I know? I know some obscure places like Karlsruhe or Hamburg. It's not obscure. I know Hamburg. All right. Well,
there's a very prominent organization from Hamburg.
Yeah, they're called Mouse.
Yeah.
I forgot about them just before.
There you go.
Yeah, but gentlemen, you've just arrived. How were you consuming the stage 1 and stage 2 of IEM Cologne?
Definitely not through Face It Watch, I can tell you that.
Why not? You didn't like the POVs?
No, there's too much going on, so it's easier just to go on Twitch and also put it on the TV. I'm a TV viewer now.
Okay.
It's vibes. Just put it on the TV and like do something on the PC at the same time. But consuming it.
You've been consuming it.
Consuming as much as I can. It's
Okay.
been very fun. A lot of good games. And then the games that weren't good were short, which I think is a perfect balance.
I think
either one or the other.
I casted all of the short games, so if you
Yeah.
want to go over all of them, we probably can. You might only have to watch for a couple of hours. How come you weren't on site doing interviews, mate?
I just sent somebody else to do the work.
Ah,
for
must
me.
be nice.
Easy.
Okay, all right. Well, we got a few topics to get into tonight, right? There was a Counter-Strike update that came in last night, I do believe. I was playing some Premiere with Harry and Trace, and then the update happened, and then I went to bed. I picked a very good time for that. Now, with that in mind, there was something in there to do with SnapTap. Do you remember exactly the wordage to do with SnapTap? They added something.
The thing is that didn't actually come from Valve themselves. It's just one of those leakers.
The data
that
miners.
just
Well, they're not leakers,
dug
they're
out-
data miners.
Sure, they just dug out something from the changes that are in the game files or whatever that refer to SnapTap. We're not even sure what it exactly means, but we assume it's some sort of a detection system that probably helps Valve gather some data. So that's about what we know.
Well, before we dig into that, are there any SnapTap enjoyers in the room?
A few, maybe.
I hope he's level 10.
Okay. I wonder if that coincides with the face at level 10s that we discussed before. Okay. Who thinks SnapTap is cheating? A few of you. Who doesn't care? Now we're talking. Welcome to my side. So yeah, with what Valve put out, it's something to be, I think, to detect the use of SnapTap, which tells me, and I'm sure that we're going to have similar opinions here, that Valve, as Valve do, are probably going to want to collect a little bit of data and see what SnapTap's all about and see how it affects the game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that was what I was trying to say on Twitter, because everybody was like, yeah, it's Valve-based, they're banning SnapTap. And I'm like, well, let's hold the horses, okay? Because, I mean, all this means is they've put in something to help them understand what's
They've
going on,
acknowledged it
right?
exists.
Exactly. I mean, we've known that they've acknowledged that it exists for a while now, because we know that they've been talking to TOs about it, about the response and all that stuff. So far, it seems like there's not going to be some sort of unified response from what I've been hearing behind the scenes. And I think this is just their first step of like trying to understand the situation, if anything else, because at the moment, we just don't have a lot to actually support any arguments to why it should be banned, it shouldn't be banned, whatever it is, or what kind of impact it even has on games.
Do you think my microphone, is it on?
I can hear you.
It is
Okay,
working.
great. I mean, the fact is we don't even know who is using it, who isn't. Like, there's a lot of conversation. Oh, Nico is using SnapTap, but based on my conversations last night, he's not using SnapTap. So people are, making a lot of assumptions of like how big of an effect something has, who is using it, who is not using it. So I think it makes sense to start with just like, okay, let's figure out what the effect of this is. Is there a correlation between using it and being better in the game? Because if it's not, then why are we even discussing it? Doesn't really make a difference, right?
Yeah, it's just the flavor of the month right now, right? Something to talk about, and it's potentially just evolution of the technology, but I don't want to say too much because I don't really understand it either.
Right.
So if the game developer decides it's going to be banned or they're going to somehow nerf it or whatever, then yeah, that's it. But other than that, whatever.
I mean, yeah, in theory, what I know about it seems completely wrong, and I hate it.
What you know about it?
Yeah, what
You
I
were
know
talking
about
to Jimmy about it yesterday, mate. You were filming content for him. You were dealing with the SnapTap dealer himself.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be close to the stuff.
Well, what did you learn?
Well, some people like it. Some people tried it and used it and went back.
Yeah.
Is that because they need more time to get used to it and don't really have it right now because they want to be, peak performance right now? In theory, it makes sense that it would make everyone better, but a better technology doesn't, I would say, correlate directly, instantly, and you being better. You also need to get used to it, just like any like driving assistance or whatever. If you're not used to it, it's just gonna be weird. So I think that's a thing some players complain about, like it was maybe too fast compared to what they're used to, and like left and right hand were unsynced a bit.
Sure.
So that's
It'd be a learning curve.
Yeah, so there is a learning, there's time, and like, maybe you need 5-6 months of using it to get to a good level with it. But I don't like it, but it's also a very hard thing to counter. Like, if this works, what Valve put inside, like the detection, then we can really start talking about it in a better way, because then you can also ban it online, right? Because if you can't ban it online, then you're in a pretty tricky situation. And if you can't detect it in the game, you can't really remove it. There's so many ways to go around it.
I mean, but also, from Valve's perspective, they tried maybe to put a hamper on the null binds, which effectively does a very similar thing, but then they gave up on it because there was always workaround that everybody found for null binds to work in the end. And obviously those are banned in pro competitions, but as far as Valve is concerned, there is nothing from them saying that people shouldn't be using these in the game or anything like that. They have apparently given up on trying to fix all the workarounds for it and stuff like that. So it seems, at the very least, that they're not completely against it. Otherwise, they would have probably gone further in trying to combat what they do, right? So from that perspective, it's also difficult for me to say like Valve really don't like this. No, as far as we can tell, they are just trying to understand it for now.
Bit of a classic. We'll have to wait and see what evolves with the snap tap technology. But I would say having a rapid trigger keyboard is going to be a benefit. I've said that before. I'll say it again.
I mean, that's a different thing than snap tap technically.
But yes, but that's a feature of the Rhyzar keyboard as well as the Wooting, for example. You can even get it on that SteelSeries keyboard. So I think that is going to play a bigger role at the moment than the snap tap itself. All right, let's get into something a bit interactive with our audience here. Now, there was a lot of happenings throughout the play-ins and the group stage, or stage 1 or stage 2, however you want to refer to it, throughout the first 7 days. Wednesday to Tuesday was how the group stages run. Now, we've got our lovely audience here. We also have our Twitch chat. We have a massive TV screen so we can see all of the voices in my head going at once. So let's just see what everybody is kind of feeling, and we'll decide what we want to sink our teeth into now, because we want to bring our guests in. We want to discuss things with Maniac and Yanko as well as the show goes on. So we'll get a test from you guys, and then we'll decide where we want to take this. Prof, if I throw this to you, the biggest surprise, positive or negative, throughout the first 7 days of play was?
I think negative Spirit for sure.
Of course.
And then positive Saw probably.
So you've done both. You've given us a double whammy here.
Yeah.
All right, we can talk about Saw with Saw.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
All right. So we'll put a pin in Spirit?
Yeah. I mean, Spirit, we'll also plan to talk with Maniac later, but it was horrible. It was insane what we saw from like everyone feels like they are the team to win every tournament, more or less. They're always number 2, top 3 favorites to win a tournament, and they are like just destroyed. They didn't show anything.
All right, well, we'll leave you with Spirit. Striker, you can't say Spirit.
No, disappointment for me would be probably Astralis. I think the way that they went out was also very one-sided, and I think very far from... Obviously, they've been trending in this direction for a while, so it's not like it came as a complete shock, but I thought, it's not that they're not that far from a level where they could compete for deep runs consistently, right? They were there, I don't know, a few months ago, not that long ago, right? So for them to go out in this fashion, just not even being able to compete against G2 is also a pretty big surprise.
Also, another negative one. We're seeing a bit of a theme here with these two. He tried to be positive slightly. I'll throw a positive.
You said I shouldn't say Spirit, so I just took it for the negative one.
But that was also negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, if it took the negative spin around with that elsewhere. Look, the Astralis stuff, maybe we can get the people here to help us decide what we're talking about. I'm going to throw into the mix G2's lower bracket run of domination.
Okay.
They absolutely manhandled everybody. And I had to cast, I think, most of their games. I say had to. When I say had to, it's because they were just blowouts. All you were witnessing was every single player on G2 just ripping the other team apart limb from limb. They lost that map to Astralis, but all right, so let's get you guys. You can make some noise. We'll yay it or we'll go nay. So which one do you want us to spend a bit of time talking about? Because we can talk about Spirit with Maniac, or we can talk about something else. There's plenty of options. So do you want us to talk about Spirit, yay or nay? I can't tell.
That's a very hard way to determine what they're saying.
Yeah, because it sounds the same, by the way.
What if we just do just make noise if you like this team? I think that's how the big stage.
Oh, you don't want two things that sound the same being said at the same time.
Do an OJ Borg.
Okay.
Who likes Spirit?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Wants to talk about Astralis? There we go. You got some Astralis.
I mean, there's a Astralis contingent somewhere. I don't see them right now because I think they're somewhere up there.
At the back.
So I think that's all the people that
Striker,
make noise.
tell us why they suck.
Look, let me go because
Okay,
I bigged up Astralis. I thought
you did.
I was on the train. I was like, this is going to work.
You're the conductor.
Device is going to be awesome. Everything's going to be. They don't play like. If you listen to the podcast I did, the in-game leader one, right?
Yeah.
Well, those in-game leaders said there is no meta, but there has to be some type of a meta, right? So I'm not disagreeing with their sentiment, but what I want to point out here is I don't think that Astralis play on meta Counter-Strike.
They're playing to default, right?
I don't even know if they're playing to default. I think like the map that they're the best on, or at least that I like their T-side on the best, is Ancient, which they can do a lot of set calls on.
Right, yeah.
But on other maps, I don't think they have the right cohesion. They just don't seem like they move around the map in the right way, responding to things. And I don't know if that's because like Devices, the in-game leader as an all-pro, isn't always going to be involved in the mid-rounds, right? Because he's not there. He's not in the thick of things as a rifler, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be on Yabby and Stown, and then there's a lot of conversation about Stown being a bit of a fraud. I don't like using that terminology. I don't like hate maxing.
Right.
I want to be love maxing. But Stown not contributing in the capacity that's necessary. And then there's conversation about, they should bring HooXi in, but they're not playing as well as I think they should be, and I think that's because of their fundamental understanding of how they want to approach the game is not on par where it needs to be, because they have the individuals to be a good team.
But that's what I was going to insinuate as well, is because, I mean, at the beginning when Device was talking about how well it's going with this team, we were kind of all surprised that it kind of kicked off pretty quickly after Device took over in-game leading. And I think the way that he was talking about it was also that because I have players that can make individual decisions all the time, I don't have to micromanage everybody. Everybody has a good enough understanding to make their own plays, and then to, like, for everybody to be able to make calls if there's an opening somewhere or anything like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you don't have the players who will give you the openings that you need, or just find some sort of plays on their own, they're not gonna work, right? So if they're just off individually, it's never going to click if you're working in an individualistic way.
You think they're too individual?
I mean, for a time it was that way. Well,
in like post plants, they definitely, like, you would see them lose these rounds because they would all take fights on their own.
Yeah.
But you'd think for a team that's speaking their native language, that would be less of a problem.
I mean, maybe that is just because of the Device kind of
not
psychology
being in the thick
about.
of
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm guessing he doesn't want to be a super hard micromanager, and he wants his players to have some authority of their own, because then you have to focus even more on what the team is doing, right? And then that takes away from his own game, and he can't focus on killing, and he kind of needs to be there, even if he has some players who can. Like, obviously the pressure is on Stown and Yabi if it's not Device who's putting up the numbers, and then if you have one of those two not working, then obviously you're not going to be competitive. Ster and Bro are good in their roles, but they're not in roles where they can have enough impact most of the time. So there's too much pressure on Stown and Yabi maybe at the moment.
Okay.
So you two guys are CEO and general manager of Astralis right now. What are you doing? What's the change?
I mean, it's got to be HooXi for one of the thinkers, right?
Look, at Astralis, we like to do things slowly. So I would change the coach. What coach would I pick?
I feel like you didn't run this through the PR machine first, so you already fired.
You're right. Damn, I need to get that spin on it. Look, I don't, like, we're not in the team, and we can't know exactly what's going on and what's going wrong. But a lot of fingers get pointed towards Stown. If you bring in HooXi, who are you getting rid of?
Yeah.
Like, who were you replacing if you bring in HooXi?
I mean, the most role one-to-one would be Ster, right? Because he's the one doing a lot of entering. And
but I think other than going 0 and 12 and getting knifed by Nico.
I also don't think he's a problem, by the way, but maybe it's exactly the in-game leadership part. Maybe HooXi would come in with a different outlook on the game, and then they can work from there, right? So I don't know if that's what it will take. I'm not saying that the Device is the problem at the moment. It's very hard. It's very hard to tell, because you can point at basically every player at this point and say, like, okay, you're just not delivering what you're supposed to deliver. Maybe outside of Device individually, because he's actually been pretty okay most of the time.
Do we think they've had enough time? Do you think they've had enough time with this roster?
Now, of course, yeah.
Okay, so when did Bro come in? Was it like February? March?
It was, they failed the major.
They
and
missed
then
the major
changes.
and it was somewhere after that.
Pretty much
So
immediately
it must have
after.
been something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so 6 months.
They got, we kind of know where they're at.
Yeah.
We know where this team is at. So it's about making changes. It doesn't need to be necessarily like a player change, but it has to be like a system change or a role change, or something needs to, there needs to be a dynamic shift in the team, because what they're doing has been consistently like, okay, if they want to be a top 8 team in the world, then it's fine, but it seems a bit low for the players that they have and the stature of Astralis.
Yeah,
everything.
I mean, if history has shown anything, I mean, your lineup is going to peak within like about 3-4 months of changes. If it's like a change that happened here, where it's just 1 or 2 players, or changing when it's not an entirely new team coming together and then just working from scrap, right? So, I mean, we've seen that peak, and it was fairly high, but it was the title contention high. So maybe we already have the answer.
Okay, so changes are necessary. All right. Well, do you want to keep things moving? How are we going to do that? Are you guys both going to stay when we bring out?
I'll move.
You're
on.
going to leave?
Yeah, just to give them.
Wow.
I'll be over there. Maybe it'll be a little crowd mic person if we need that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we get the ball rolling?
Do we want just one more team or?
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe just ask the crowd. Any team. G2. Okay.
We never talk about G2 on
We
this
never
show.
talk about
No one
G2.
ever talks about G2.
Maybe we keep them for the playoff stock.
Well, they're going to be a big part of the playoffs talk because we have Yanko for that. So, you know, they might be dominated there. Look.
There's going to be a bit of glazing later in the,
Big. What do we talk about with Big? Rigon look good, but he's not even German. So, I don't, we don't even really help. He's speaking the language, though.
He is.
So there's a positive.
I have to say, just one team that I'm so disappointed with was Eternal Fire.
Yeah.
They made my heart break how they threw that game against Mongols in the end. I can't. I still think about it. I still think about that nuke and like Xantares being 25-1, and they lost.
I'd hate to know how you feel about Liquid then.
Well, they at least got to the brink. They got to the brink.
They got to 9
but also pretty bad.
Yeah.
Also pretty bad.
They got to 9 brinks.
The thing is that at least they lost to FaZe. FaZe is it's a different ball game than losing to Mongols.
Mongols beat Spirit.
I don't know what happened. I didn't watch that game. And I don't want to.
They owned them on Anubis 13-4.
Yeah, they blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's go because we're going to talk when we got Maniac here and when we got Yank here. I think we'll delve into those things a little bit more.
I didn't do the thing that I wanted to do.
What do you want to do?
Which is to show like a little sneak peek of a new HLTV feature.
Do I need to bring this up or is Lucas going to do this?
Lucas will bring this up, but if people want to see it, do people want to see it? Yes. There we go. Okay, so whenever Lucas is ready, he can bring up some of the stuff that we have been working on. It's actually funny that there was a thread on HLTV today asking about like...
You replied?
Yeah, I actually posted on Twitter, but Harry replied, who was the main person behind kind of building this thing, which is, people might see this and look at, the FIFA cards and see similarities, which it is, but it's also not. We built this system, Harry mainly, to show the style of players. So essentially, especially for teams that you have never watched and players that you never watched, to kind of figure out what the hell is this guy about. And not necessarily, his trading being 29 doesn't mean he's bad at trading. It's just that he doesn't do it very often.
It's stylistical. It's about what they tend towards rather than what they're really good at.
Yeah, so it's a stylistic kind of thing. So we have a few different categories that we made out of statistics, different stats, and which build towards them. What your first thoughts? You have some questions.
It's very colorful.
It is colorful.
Yeah, the colors, green is good.
You like the little icons?
Yellow is okay, and red I would assume is bad, but not bad because you said maybe it doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah,
it's just low.
It's not your thing,
Yeah, okay. The icons are good for the clutching one. You've got a skull snowflake.
Yeah, you're like ice cold.
While killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I really like that. That was like a big challenge for the graphics guys and us as well. Like, how do you want to visually describe clutching? But I think it came out really nice.
Yeah, the openings, the lightning.
I think a question that people will ask about is like entering and opening. What's the difference? And I think we on HLTV always try to differentiate these two things.
Sure.
Where entering is like going into the bomb site, and opening is just the start of the round, right?
Yes, so on the CT side,
Yeah, because on the CT side, NT side, you can entry around. It doesn't mean that the duel is happening while you're running in and being traded, right? So the entering is mostly based on how you die. Are you being traded? Are you being saved by other teammates? Are you like close to other people, right? While opening is just, are you winning for the first duels in the round? Right?
Is that for CT and T side?
Yeah.
Yes,
you can
but
there's also a TIT side option, so you can also see how it works for each side of the map. So it's you can figure it out on your own.
Sniping is obvious, utility is obvious, clutching is essentially who's late in the round. There's also some stats that will be available when this goes out. That
when is this going out?
Well, we'll see.
I think after
the next
few, we were talking about after Cologne. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what you were just talking about, right?
Yes.
In terms of how these things are defined.
So like some of the new stats that will be available is like last alive percentage, which is like which is this player staying last alive for his team in the round, which we'll be using towards the
James
clutching,
stat.
you know, and also the time alive in round. I mean,
Another James stat.
another James stat, or like a ropz or a frozen, or these guys stat, and the rest is like, I think, quite obvious about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, some people who also have been kind of following our reasonings for top 20 or for EVPs and stuff like that. There's also kills in round wins, for example,
Okay.
that we're going to have there, which is a pretty good indicator of how much every person has impact on actually pushing the game forward, right, for their team. So it's there's going to be some new stats in there.
So
And the
it's,
firepower one, just to add, is, you know, it's kind of similar to rating, but it's not, because rating adds like surviving and stuff like that. Firepower is just like, how much are you fragging? You can die every time, but how many kills, how many multi-kills are you getting? So it's like a pure firepower kind of stat.
is this
And damage, yeah.
so everyone always uses rating, right, when they
Yeah.
talk about big, and like HLTV is the gold standard in terms of statistics and stuff. Is this meant to be? It's using that information and presenting it differently, or is it a new way that the information is being calculated and then displayed?
I would say kind of a mix of both, right? It's,
Okay.
it's
I mean,
some of
the
stats that
firepower.
existed.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
firepower is the only one that kind of correlates to some sort of an output, right? Everything else is more stylistical, as I was saying. So it's more to tell you what kind of a player they are. I mean, when we had this is also a pretty good one to compare. But when we had Ultimate, for example, like, it's very curious if we can bring up that one, just to point out some of the
first one, if
maybe-
possible, Lucas.
Yeah, exactly. Because usually you don't see guys being good at both opening and clutching, because it's
Sure.
kind of usually it goes the other way, right?
Yeah, this is right, Lucas.
Some of the people who go for a lot of openers would be like a Yakindar, you know, but then
Okay.
those guys obviously don't get into clutches because they're not live long
Yes.
enough. Obviously, if you're an opera, you're going to be at a kind of an advantage because you're going for opening plays that are safe relatively.
Yep.
I mean, you're usually not going to be able to die first. But for Ultimate, I mean, he's good at clutching as well as opening, and he's actually entering as well. So
Sure.
it's just a very curious case, and like looking into some of these players, that it tells you a lot about them and how they play in a game, how aggressive they are, what they're good at in terms of different facets of the game. It's not necessarily about who's better than who; it's more like who's tending in which style more than others.
So this would be a better way to look and talk about players then.
I mean,
If you're not talking about necessarily their output or their actual impact of the games, a lot of the
Per match,
yes,
where this is
yes.
obviously over. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you can also look at this over a match. I mean, if it works with the same filters that we have,
Yeah, you can use
usually,
any
right?
filter you want, and you can get these stats. Right?
Okay,
It can
so
be
it could
per
just be for
tournament,
one map, one
can be-
series, one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Obviously, like one map is there's gonna be weird stuff happening.
Yeah, like someone who doesn't AWP got a couple of AWP kills or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yep.
So that would
Yeah.
skew that, but it would help to find a few of these key categories a little bit better.
Again, main point is like, we don't have roles, and roles are very fluid and really change a lot between teams, sides, CTT, and stuff like that. So this is kind of our way of presenting this, you know, what kind of a player someone is.
Okay. All right. Well, that was good. Wow. Have you ever had a clap for stats before?
I didn't hear anything you said, but like,
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
let's
Nice.
go.
Let's do it. Okay, well, after we've taken a look at that, let's bring out our guests, shall we? We're going to get rid of Prof. We're going to bring over two individuals from SAW, the elder statesman of SAW. Any Portuguese individuals in the house? One.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we will be conducting this interview in Portuguese, so you'll be the only one able to listen. No, I haven't really kept up to snuff on that, but we're going to bring out MUTiRiS and Roman from SAW. They'll probably come out of that door in a second. How you doing, boys?
all right.
Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
We had a conversation yesterday. It was the two of us. Well,
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
with me
Rain
it'd be
and Frozen.
three. And who else was there?
Rain and Frozen.
That's right. I think they were a little bit, we'll just go with tired. They might have been a little bit hungover from staying up and celebrating their victory, which we discussed in another podcast setting. It's all I seem to do is podcast at the moment.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, congratulations on making it to the
Thank you.
playoffs. Look,
It's working? Yeah.
yeah.
It's working.
yeah, we can hear you. I think it's good.
All good.
Lucas?
Yeah.
They say yes. That's all that really matters. All right. Okay, so look, if people aren't too familiar with the two of you, you've been playing for both, quite a long time. Do you want to give us a little bit of history? When did you guys start playing Counter-Strike?
When I start,
Yeah, let's do it. So
I
people understand.
remember a 1.6 highlight from you on HLTV,
yeah.
which is from like 15, 14 years ago or something like
I
that.
don't know. The first time I played CS, I had like 10 years.
Okay.
So I have 31. So a long time ago.
Woof.
All right.
Yeah, he's been playing for longer. But we've been playing together for around 2010, probably 2010, 2011.
Yeah,
maximum,
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's got to be
it's,
one of the longest. That has to be the longest out of all.
One of the
Who else
longest
could
ones.
in modern Counter-Strike has been playing together for that long?
But have you guys never split up in that time?
No,
Like,
we did. We
we
played
did.
in Kingwin around 2016 or
Movistar.
Movistar as well. I played in Giants. But then we played together.
Just some.
a couple
maybe
months.
year.
Couple months, yeah.
Just a couple months.
Yeah,
So you guys know each other pretty well.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's quite a unique relationship, really. Like we don't have a whole lot of that going on at the moment. At least these days, right? That's pretty unique. And then you went and you adopted these 3 young fraggers, right? What's the age difference between you guys? About 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
8 years with Jörg. He's 24. I'm pretty sure, or he's making 24 this year. And the other guys are 22, probably. So 10 years. Yeah.
10 years.
Okay, so this year's been, I would say, the biggest year for the two of you in Counter-Strike, right? With the major
yeah.
and
I mean,
Yeah.
no doubts. Yeah, no doubts.
did you ever because you obviously kept going, so you obviously did think that it was going to happen, that you were going to break through at some point.
Yeah, when we just keep grinding, and I don't know, this year it's been so special. I think we kind of believed, but with so many years that we didn't did anything, so I don't know. This year is just special.
And then with the major stuff, it was all good. Then there was a bit of a lull, and now you guys have picked up again, right? Obviously with this event and a good result. Is there a reason for the good result?
I mean, probably we were a bit tired after the major. We had so many officials, and it's so hard to keep our map pool at a good level with so many officials day after day. It's so hard to improve. So during the break, we just tried to reset as much as we could, and then we prepared as much as we can to this tournament, and it's going perfectly.
What do you think? After the major, you got a lot of invites. I mean, you also made it to the spring final through the showdown, of course.
Yeah.
Was there something that, how come you weren't able to capitalize a little bit more on that until now? What do you think has been keeping you back? Because it was quite a long period after that major that you were kind of trying to make it at the big events, and only now it's been successful.
Can you repeat? Sorry, I couldn't hear it correctly. Sorry.
No, I was just talking that you got a lot of opportunities at the big events after the major, but you couldn't really convert them. I mean, there were a couple of close calls. I mean, against FaZe, for example, and at the spring final, you guys got pretty close. But other than that, it was a bit rough.
I think everything clicked on this tournament. We knew what we had to fix from the previous tournaments. We learned so much from the mistakes that we made, and the teams were actually on a really great level against us, so it was really hard to beat them. But on this tournament, we feel like everything that we did was correct. Everyone was on the best level that they can. And, we played against great teams, but I felt like they weren't really on point. For example, G2, I thought they weren't really on point against us.
Yeah.
And we also beat B. They made changes so recently, so it was perfect timing to play at the highest level. So it was.
I saw an interview that our writer Mira did with you guys. I think it was during the play-in after your first win or something like that. And at the time, you were talking about your goal being making it to the group stage, right? After beating G2, in the first round, is that where you realize, like, shit, we can make it to the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. When we won like that against G2, we just thought, okay, we can make it. So, I don't know, playing in the playoffs is just a dream for us. And we just want to enjoy this moment.
You guys were out there today, right? Rehearsing. All the teams went out to the Lanxess Arena today to rehearse the walkouts. Is that the first time you've been inside the Lanxess?
Yeah.
Linux, it's the first time. We played the qualifier in 2015 for the major, and it didn't go so well. But 9 years later, we're here, so we're so happy to play it.
What did you make of it? Like, how's this? Have they finished all the construction in there and stuff? Inside, how's it looking?
I think it was everything was pretty ready. So
yeah. I guess, does that make it more exciting now that you've been in there and you know that that's where you go tomorrow, or? more nerves.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be insane. I mean, I just hope it's completely full, but it looks completely incredible.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing with Cologne, right? And the awesome thing about that crowd is they're cheering for good CS. They're definitely going to have their favorites, but the people there cheer for good CS. Like it's pretty unique in that regard. It's kind of like when we had Antwerp or the Stockholm Major, for example, and people are going like they don't really have a home team. Yeah. It's always just got, there's always a really nice air to it. I notice if you go walking down in the streets and stuff tomorrow before you guys play or whatever, you have the first game, so you probably wouldn't do that. You just see all these people, and they're all in their jerseys and shirts, and it's really cool. Cologne gets taken over for this point.
Yeah, we already seen it today. There's a lot of fans, FaZe fans came to us.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
They wish us good luck and so on, but I hope they cheered for the underdog. I know I would, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, FaZe are usually pretty favorable.
They're favored
in
everywhere,
pretty
aren't
much
they?
every crowd, so that's going to be interesting for you guys, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so obviously the excitement about going and playing this level of a stage match. You've got the young individuals. We spoke about this yesterday. You guys saying you go out there to enjoy it, but it's probably one of these things, you know, where it's hard to even, like, I never got to play on any fun stages like that. I don't even know. I never had the anticipation of it. And now at your age, like getting to think about all the years of playing Counter-Strike and stuff, it's putting a smile on my face. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, it's rewarding for sure. We've been playing for so many years. We were so close so many times, and it feels so rewarding to do it at such an old age, I'll say. It's an old age in Counter-Strike, so I'm 32, he's 31. So it's so rewarding, and we just want to enjoy it.
And for the country too, as well, right? Like Portugal in Counter-Strike, it's had these little like blips on the radar. People might remember Fox, right? But other than that, like it's a pretty big deal. What's the fan base like back in Portugal?
They just love Counter-Strike.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the main sport there. But we never had this level, so I think they are very happy for the level that we are presenting. And I don't know, they are just with us, and we are trying to give our best to give some happiness to the country.
Nice. All right, well, we got Prof's written us up a little fun thing that we can do between the two of you. Let me just get this up here. I forgot my notepad, so I couldn't write it down, unfortunately. But
there's one thing we can ask about a little bit before that. There's this, I've been seeing the Twitch chat, and they're going with Bem Julio, right?
For Berry.
Can you explain that one a little bit? Because I think...
I've been asked this so many times, I still don't know the answer. So what I know is a Portuguese name, and they just call very Julio, so I don't know.
It's just a meme.
No,
it's just a meme, I think, yeah.
A Portuguese streamer said that he has the face of Julio.
Oh, Julio.
It's a Portuguese name.
Okay.
And they just started to say...
It just stuck.
Saying it's the...
Good one.
Yeah, good one, Julio, so...
Okay.
It's his new name.
They're giving credit to the coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, lucky Barry.
They give credit to everyone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is what Prof has created for us here. It's called Me or Him. So I'm going to give you guys an option, well, let's just start, and then we can see which one of you. So in practice, who's first on the server?
It's me probably, no?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm always the first one. Coming to practice, I'm always the earliest one. Usually, no excuses.
50-50. No, in the TeamSpeak, he is the first.
Okay. Always early?
Yeah. In the TeamSpeak, he is the first guy. But on the server, let's split.
All right. Okay.
Well, that's fair. You're the in-game leader, right? So, I expect you to be in there pretty early. More likely to tilt?
That's me for sure. I mean, if it's a team issue, it's probably him. But usually with individual stuff, it's probably me.
Yeah.
I'll get more motivated.
I need to do that job sometimes.
I remember this moment. I mean, you guys will not remember it very well. I mean, you will remember it very well, but not very fondly, which was the Antwerp qualifiers, right? And I remember the situation.
Why bring that up?
I was just going to say.
This is a good thing. It's a good time to do it.
I will say it as a good thing because what I remember was MUTiRiS reacting to the situation where Stadoro made the miss, and you were trying to calm down the team. I was like, it's okay, like we're gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know. We just needed to stay focused on that time, and but I understand his reaction because it was very painful. And after the game, of course, everyone just talked about that round, and it's not fair because we had a couple of rounds that we should do it, and we didn't make it. So But yeah, it's the round that everyone remembers.
Yeah, but I just remember your reaction to it. You know, you weren't getting tilted. You were just trying to calm the team, so that was nice.
How do you not get tilted? Is it just your personality?
No, if I get tilted as IGL, I think the player's gonna start to follow my tilt. So most of the time I try to stay calm. But when I see that everything is a mess, that's when I try to push them or try to say something to people to wake up. So,
Okay, so do you have to get a bit harsher? Like a bit more aggressive?
no, not so aggressive. I
don't think so, no.
Yeah.
All right.
For confirmation.
All right, next one. Picky eater.
Picky eater. So if you like some food,
Or it's like, you know, which one of you has certain, you know, only likes eating at this type of restaurant or...
I mean, it's probably he doesn't like sauce on the food, so it's probably him, no?
You don't like sauces?
I'm a simple guy.
He's a picky eater. He's a picky eater.
Yeah.
No, wait, just plain chicken?
Yeah, for me it's rice and chicken, and I can eat all days like that.
Okay.
Bodybuilder diet.
What if you get in like a cheeseburger? You getting sauce in there?
Yeah, ketchup, it's okay.
Okay, all right. What about mustard?
No.
No mustard.
Ketchup.
All right.
He's a picky eater for sure.
Okay.
I didn't expect this question to actually produce a good answer.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Which one of you is more stubborn?
It's him by far, yeah.
What's that?
Him was.
Okay.
It's him. There's no doubt.
Did no pushback?
No, with pushback. But when I believe in something, or if
I've seen so many arguments that
Okay.
we have a long story, so
he's always right. So, it's not with me. It's basically with everyone. So
You two get along. It's the rest of the team.
yeah.
Yeah. How is that with a new coach or with coaches, right? Because you've been playing for so long that coaches are still a relatively new thing, right? Last couple of years, really, with their input, and then you want to have your own vision of the game, but you need to collaborate. So how do you go about managing that?
I don't know. I just want to play a beautiful CS.
Okay.
So if the coach comes with nice ideas, or if he comes with ideas, I'm able to test it. But if I think it doesn't fit with the team, I don't gonna say that we don't do it, but we start do less times.
Okay.
I mean, but I don't know. I try to. I don't cut. How can I say that?
I mean, I feel like there's gotta be trust between the IGL and the coach. So if there's no trust between them, it's
doesn't work. Yeah.
We just gotta change.
Yeah, but for sure.
Yeah.
So, for example, with Barry, I didn't have any problem, so it's okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, he also doesn't understand language, so sometimes
Could be talking shit. All right. Who's funnier?
It's him. It's him.
Wow.
He's the biggest streamer in Portugal that doesn't stream, so it's like...
The biggest streamer in Portugal? What does that mean?
Doesn't stream. I mean, everyone wants him to stream and he never does it, but when he does...
I don't have time.
People love him. So.
But you have a career once you're done playing?
Can you repeat?
You could be a streamer once you finish playing?
Well, I could have, but I don't really like it.
Okay. It's hard work.
I like to talk with the people on the stream. But streaming, it's not something that I really enjoy. So what I like is the part to be competitive, and so maybe,
coaching.
Yeah, coaching one day.
But what makes him funnier than you?
I mean, he just comes up with stupid things all the time. So he keeps making fun of everyone every day.
Okay.
If he's like kept with making fun of something, for sure. Okay. Our previous manager was like
He was my
main target for sure.
Okay. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one of you will prioritize utility?
It depends on the map, no?
Both.
It depends on the map.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys with the other players have to do a lot more of that work than they do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They'll buy the AK head armor, and you're like, I guess I'll buy the fucking Galil then.
I mean, basically every pistol we have an argument because your Jerks wants to buy utility. I don't know why, because he's bad throwing it.
Yeah.
And then making him buy cover every fucking pistol. He's stubborn. He tries to take utility, but it makes no sense. So I'll take the utility Masaka. And
Why would he want to buy nades on pistol round?
because he's stubborn. I'll tell him to buy cover. He's stubborn. He doesn't like me to say to do it, so he buys utility.
Okay.
We start fight like 1 or 2 minutes. We need
Pause.
to take a pause, and they are discussing.
But to be fair, if he's playing without the cover, he always kills 3 or 4
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So.
Well, why don't you make a deal? Just say, yeah, you can buy the nades, but drop them to me.
I mean, but he will be without cover.
That's
the
all
issue.
right. You just said he kills a couple of players.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if everyone's okay with it, I'll do it.
Well, we have the attributes coming, so like soon enough we're gonna have an answer without them having to tell us. You know. So.
Yeah, nice. All right, and finally, well, I guess we know this one from Who's Funnier because they seem to overlap. But the last one the prof had here is talks more shit.
During games, or I mean,
Yeah, let's go during games.
during games, it's me by
It's
far.
him,
I think
yeah,
it's me. Yeah.
Like about the opponent.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it every time. Yeah.
How does it get with the Iberian matchups? Does it get personal?
Depends. Sometimes.
Yeah, not right now, but
Back in the day.
I
back in
think
the day.
there's a
it
couple
was-
clips
yeah.
of some shit that was said. Yeah,
But I mean, now if you play like against Tadodo or something, like you're gonna say some shit to him, no?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, only,
He's a big guy.
Only in a
Just-
funny way.
Just normal things, not bad things.
Okay, so you're like the shit talking motivator during the game.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
like we're gonna fucking own these noobs, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But in Portuguese.
All the time. In English as well, so they can hear me. So.
Yeah, okay. Nice. All right, well, that was Prof's little game, me or him. And that worked quite nicely. We got some
Yeah, it
good
was
stuff
pretty
there.
good.
Let's focus in now because you guys are going to play the first quarterfinal. You're going to be playing against FaZe Clan tomorrow. You played against them back in London, right?
Yeah.
And I brought up the fact that's where you got spammed by Rain's auto sniper from T-Spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's part of the comeback on Ancient. Do you remember?
I remember.
Yeah, I was just watching the clip of it the other day. I was like, oh, that one was a timely clip to see. But you play against FaZe. The conversation about them is, they get better on stages, and you guys are first time on stages. It's hard for me to ask you these questions because I know I kind of have a rough idea what your answer is going to be. But if you could pretend to be a little bit cocky for me right now, do you think how winnable is the match for you guys? Because you're an underdog.
Yeah, it kind of depends a little bit on the maps, and I don't know. It depends if we have a good day, because I think we already showed that we can play very good Counter-Strike. So we know that they are a great team, but I think our team is shooting really well, and if we are on point aim-wise, I think that we can do some good things. I don't know if we're gonna win, but we can do a good game on Lanxess Arena.
That's the thing, right? The exciting Counter-Strike in the Lanxess is always going to be fun. Now, Nuke was the map that you guys have made as your mainstay. They're going to be looking at your Nuke. So,
But they also like Nuke a lot. So.
Who, FaZe?
Oh.
Yeah, but of course they're picking Nuke, right?
We'll see.
You tried the other day.
I have to try again.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
What they're gonna pick?
Yeah.
I'm not well enough versed into what teams are picking, so not.
And FaZe's map pool is kind of messy at the moment. The only thing that's brought them out of this mess is the fact they won a crazy 11-1 comeback, right? So for them, they're more emboldened by what they've done as opposed to looking.
But they've been picking a lot of Nuke.
Yeah, but like I understand what you're saying here. I'm not disregarding it, but FaZe got to play their comfort maps against Liquid the other day.
Yeah.
They're a team who's comfortable on the stage. This is going to be a very tough game.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, I mean, you have some young guys. I know you guys have also not played on a big stage like this before, but I imagine it's going to be the young guys who are going to, who it's going to depend on if they're going to be able to handle it. Are you worried about that at all, or do you think it's going to be fine?
I mean, there's zero pressure for us, right? So.
Yeah, I try to not think too much about that. I use the word enjoy, but if we are there, we have a possibility. So that's what goes in my mind. We just go there and just try to beat FaZe. So we just know that they are very, very good, but we can beat them if we are in a good day, and maybe if they struggle a little bit, we can just force something.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that the Iberian team just went on the Cologne stage and did something amazing, right? I mean,
Well,
we had
yeah.
the same thing with Movistar not that long ago, 2 years ago, I think, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think, with Sampayas and Alex still.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did an amazing tournament.
Are you also that type of a team that just like gets hyped up when you guys are playing in front of a crowd? I mean, I'm sure you're playing a lot in local tournaments and stuff like that with crowds and stuff like that.
I mean,
Are
of
you-
course you love it, yeah. I mean, it hypes us up a lot. So if we start well, I'm pretty sure there will be a big problem for FaZe.
Yeah. I also so you guys picked Anubis. So maybe because Rain said when we were doing that little podcast, he said he didn't like Anubis. So maybe Anubis. You're right. Maybe it's not Nuke. We'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can use that information from
Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah, that works. That's nice. All right. So the other side of the bracket, help us out, right? We won't ask more questions about your side. We'll ask about the other side. So from your experience, you practice against these teams, you watch demos against of how they play, or if you're prepping for them. You got MUTiRiS versus G2 as the quarterfinal on the other side. Who do you think is going to win that series?
It's between G2 and...
The only team that we didn't practice against or play against was probably Vitality, no?
Yeah, Vitality we never play, I think.
I would say G2 takes it.
G2 over MUTiRiS?
Yeah, they're impressing me a lot. After our game, now they're destroying everybody, so they have the fear factor in everybody.
Yeah,
They're destroying everyone, so...
That's the thing. You guys didn't feel what it was like to get destroyed by them, but you're the ones who made them angry.
I mean, that's the perk of playing our map first, right? So we play Nuke first. When we starting 1-0 against G2, there's a lot of pressure on them. So I feel like that was an issue for them, starting on our map.
Yeah.
Okay. So G2 over MUTiRiS, and then if G2 play Na'Vi, who do you have in that one?
G2 or Na'Vi?
Well, maybe it's so hard. Maybe Na'Vi. Na'Vi it's playing really well, but G2 after our game they kind of destroyed everyone. So I don't know. They can win. It's very hard to say.
There's the whole Alexi B versus G2 core as well, right? What is it 8 and? He's won the last 8 series or something against them.
Yeah.
So that has to end eventually. Well, it'd be on the stage in a semi-final would probably be the best place for it to end for G2.
If I had to bet, I'll go with Na'Vi. I mean, it's only fair to say they beat us and they felt really on point. So I'll bet on Na'Vi for sure.
Yeah.
You were when we were talking. You guys were the ones that said about Bit, right? When we were talking about riflers. Yeah, not that I don't think we had it under the preface of him being the best player in the world, but like him shooting really hard and being like a really strong rifler right now. Like, what was it? Most instant player, I think Maniac was using as the term.
Yeah, Beat was amazing. I don't know. He's shooting so well, and I felt that when we were playing, if you have it in front of you, you will get trouble. So. Yeah, he's playing very well.
All right.
You guys were talking about Na'Vi, and I wanted to ask about the difference between G2 and Na'Vi. A lot of people were talking about, your preparation into G2, and it seemed like you were very well aware of what they were going to do. Is there a difference between how you prepare for a team like G2 versus how you prepare for a team like Na'Vi? Because they're, much more team play, a team play based team.
No, not at all. I think that against G2, the main factor was that we played Nuke and it was perfect. The second map, I think we struggled a little bit on city side, Inferno.
Yeah.
And after that, we did a perfect T side. So everything was clicking and it was really good from us. Na'Vi, I think that they have a strong map pool. So we surprised them with the Nuke, but after that it was, I think that Ancient, the result, I'm gonna say it's not fair because we lost some rounds that we shouldn't lost, but Inferno we just get wrecked. So the map pool of Na'Vi seems really good.
Yeah, they've been getting some great wins on Inferno. So to be fair, you're not the only ones who are getting destroyed by them on it. So
and they haven't played a lot of it. They're starting to play more of it now, but they hadn't played a lot of it since the major. I remember,
I mean, they had
during
a big one
EWC.
recently on the EWC, exactly, in the final.
Now, look, let's focus in a little bit more about Portuguese Counter-Strike while we got you guys here. Is there any new talent coming up in the Portuguese scene that people should be keeping their eyes on? Or is it not something that you guys see too much?
Well, I don't see
Rhino is playing real well at the moment. I mean, there was barely any team playing HLTV matches besides us. So now there's Rhino. They actually played today. I don't know if they won or not, but they have been.
They won
beating
against Endpoint.
They won. So
Yeah.
they've been having some good results, and I feel like they're a really good team and some good talent as well.
Okay, nice. And you guys-
Basically, they have the two old teammates of the kids that are with us.
Okay.
So they are good.
All right. And you guys told me about Zero Tenacity and Anubis. I just remembered that right now.
You seen the stats?
I'm just looking at it now. Did you know that Zero Tenacity have played Anubis 103 times this year?
What the?
They played. That's one map. They played one. They've won it 72 times, and they've only lost it 31 times. They played it 103 times this year.
I mean, surely that's got to be something.
They're going to be the best
record.
Anubis
That's
team in the
kinda
world in Tier 2. But that might mean they're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's insane.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we don't want to keep you for too long. You got to prepare for a big quarterfinal tomorrow. So is there anything that you want to say to the fans at home? You can say it in Portuguese. You don't have to say it in English.
Just say it.
Pode à vontade. Não é?
No, I just want to thank them for being there always with us, and it's just that we're gonna try our best tomorrow. So and we want to make them proud, and we're gonna do everything to give a victory to Portugal.
Awesome. All right. Nice. Well, thank you for joining us. Is there anything? It's a nice response. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you would like to talk about, or anything that you want to say, or?
No, I don't think so. No. Anything?
No, all good.
No, you happy?
Yeah.
All right. If you're happy, thank you very much for being here this evening, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
All right, boys.
Thank you,
Thank you. All right, that is MUTiRiS and Roman from Saw. All right.
That's insane.
What is?
Zero tenacity.
Oh, yeah, right. When I was talking to them yesterday, they brought that up. I was like, I couldn't quite believe it. I was like, that's a crazy stat. Now, we will get Prof back. What are we? We're about 6 minutes away from an hour. So how are we feeling about that intermission? Do people want to go to the bathroom, get a drink? Yeah? Oh, he's got a piss. All right. Is that Buckethead? Yes, it is. All right, everybody. In the front row, there's an IEM New York many years ago. The gentleman named, well, I don't know his actual name, but we deemed him Buckethead because he wore buckets on his head. It's a great nickname. He'll be here at Cologne. I'm sure he's going to be getting all the buckets. Let's get a round of applause for Buckethead. And on that note, Lucas, let's go to a quick little intermission, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes, and we'll keep the show going.
So it's the actual one from Barclays Center?
Yeah, he brought the buckets.
Yeah, I see it.
The world is changing quickly. Shut up.
The world is changing, but one thing remains the same. Victories with 1xBet.
Sell in-game items at the best prices in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. Skin Place. Sell items now.
Since the dawn of CSGO, we have been there. Observers of all that competition can reveal. Elation, fear, triumph, and heartache reach out from every frame. From the small studios and conference rooms to the epic arenas, the feeling is still the same. We live and breathe this game. This was CSGO Through the Lens. Buy now at hltv.org/shop.
We're casual. We're on couches, prof. It's all
We're
good.
casual.
And you're back as well.
I'm not casual. I'm super. Someone said I have my burglar outfit on.
What are you robbing?
Cool.
Wow. You've really... Next thing, you make a Porsche joke.
There's some good Porsche jokes.
Do you
We
think
had
that
a
ends?
ropz interview and we didn't ask him about the Porsche. Do you think that's good or bad journalism?
I think it's good because I think it's a shit take.
I just gotta ask the question, right?
What? Do you think you'd play better if you sold your Porsche?
No, it's not. You made that question. The question was.
Well, with the
like-
question, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy.
The question is more like, are you annoyed by the Porsche comments?
The answer to that would be yes.
Yeah.
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 I'd be annoyed by it.
Yeah. You might also ask the perfect question and still get a response that the question was dumb. That's also possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Happens all the time.
everyone's just gone to the bathroom. They're coming back in slowly, so we can do a bit of peddling right now. We don't need to like jump on the mine
Yeah.
straight away.
Baba Powney did like 10 gifted subs or something.
Is that someone in Twitch chat, or is that like a guy you know?
He's just no. I mean, maybe both. Who knows?
Okay.
I look like a retired skin baron. What's a skin baron?
You work at Skin Place.
No, I work at. I'm not at. Skin
Actually,
Baron.
you because you'd be retired, but
Yes.
you did work at Skin Place because all of our users went there, and now you're retired,
Maybe this.
and it's now turned into Skin Palace. See, it worked. We got there in the end.
I was reading the chat. I was
Sorry, man.
ADHDing so hard.
Yeah. We'll give
There's
people a
Liam
few
G in
more-
the chat.
Who?
Liam G.
Who?
Also
Oh,
real.
he's
G.
right there.
Where
he's
is he?
waving.
There we go. Let's
Yeah,
go, Liam G.
he's here in the
Give it
building.
out for Liam G. Woo! There we go.
Is that this gentleman here in the glasses? Is that what? Did you buy that today? That CS shirt? Yeah, you bought that from the ESL shop. Can you stand up and turn around for me? Let's see that one there.
That's nice.
Would you wear that one?
That's pretty okay. Yeah.
Pretty okay. What do you want, Prof?
I don't like the CS at the front. It's kind of looking like mid. I don't know.
Okay.
But the Mirage hoodie it's gonna be copped.
Okay.
It's gonna be
if they're
copped.
not sold out.
Yeah. I actually should have gone today, but with all of these like guest issues, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah. I didn't mention to the people on stream at home, we were going to have JL, but he's unable to be with us.
He has a fever.
He's still alive.
Fever?
I know Las Vegas.
What?
Viva Las Vegas. Fever. Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
No, it's like fever when you kiss me. No, I'm not gonna sing.
Is that like
There's like 78 drinks.
Get me out
below
of this.
the
I don't know
singing.
what's going on.
we're filling until everyone's back, and then we'll bring out Matthew and we'll get into the conversation.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't go to karaoke.
You should boo, yeah.
I know that like I might give off this air that I'm a social person, but
Like,
I'm
have
not.
you've never gone to karaoke? You must have.
I've probably been like once, but I sat there begrudgingly in the corner waiting to go home.
You're
I
my
went
kind of
to,
person, Chad. Have I ever told you?
Hey.
I went to karaoke with Blair recently.
Okay.
He is insane. He's so good.
It'd be metal.
What?
He'd be singing metal songs.
Well, anything.
Anything.
Really. Anything, really, yeah.
Okay.
I did Bring Me the Horizon rendition.
You
of
did a Bring Me the
Drown.
Horizon. Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
You can ask Blair about it. That's
All
all
right.
I'm going to say.
All right. I respect it. All right. It looks like most people are back now. Striker wants to talk about Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
But he's not alone in wanting to talk about Counter-Strike. Our next guest, hailing from Switzerland, speaks German. Won a Meisterschaft. That's true.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the anecdote when he comes out here.
Okay.
Please welcome Maniac. Hello, Matthew. Long time no see.
Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I was keeping my eye on the ticker, and I feel like Lucas was giving the wrong idea out there. Like I was late, and you were fitting for me. Just want to make the record clear. It's like Maniac is here. Maybe he fell asleep.
You're here
stalling.
for a while.
I was
You're here for an hour at least.
Yeah, you and Yanko rocked up early.
Oh, absolutely. You know us.
You
Call
gotta
time.
respect
An
it.
hour before the call time, we're here.
The two of
always.
you, I know that I don't have to wait for the shuttle. But when I was on the shuttle with Scrawny, Launders, and Alex, because we went in as the caster shift. All three of those motherfuckers late. And Alex is normally like, when it's me and him, I'm waiting on him. He was waiting on them. Scrawny and Launders later than Machine. That's a quote.
But why are we just accepting his chant?
I don't know. I just called him out live on air right now. It's bullshit.
Terrible.
I want an
Like
apology.
people think like the call time is when you have to leave the room.
Yeah.
That's not.
Not with the elevator.
shuttle
in
is
the
like
The
hotel.
classic elevator.
I'm in the elevator. No,
I'm
but
in the
at the hotel I see the elevator shaft from the entrance. So I can tell you if you're not in the elevator.
That's
I can
true.
see. We can see it. We know.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We'll be keeping our eyes on these people, but you're on time. And that's it's a key, Matthew, because this evening we're going to talk about Counter-Strike. But first, Prof likes to come up with fun games.
Okay.
Do you like fun games?
Are you a fun guy?
Well,
How did I not know about that?
well, he keep it very hidden.
Okay.
It's behind the turtleneck and the glasses. But we just did one which was me or him. This one, I'm trying to find it on my cellular telephone device right now.
Is this
Chad,
that?
a lot of people are asking about the woke mind virus. They really want to hear about it.
Harry's not here, and I'd feel disingenuous talking about the work mind virus
Yeah.
without Harry. Plus, I don't want another podcast being listed as some right-wing propaganda. So
That's it.
Hey,
Categorized.
as soon as you mention anything to do with U.S. politics as someone who doesn't care at all about U.S. politics and uses it as a meme, they're on you. I swear bot accounts are swarming. But this is called This or That.
Okay.
Okay.
Ominous. I
Now-
like it. Ominous.
The people in the audience can play as well. So maybe we'll start with them and then we'll get Matthew's answer. So there's two options, which is kind of this or that. Now I'm gonna go. I'll say one of them, and then we'll get a cheer. Well, they're not gonna know what the other one is. How am I gonna do this, Prof?
You're doing a good job. I have no idea what we're doing.
I don't know, bro.
Okay, all right.
I pitched it to you, and it's.
I'm gonna
like a
say
great
that
idea at
I just have to execute. So we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna say both of the options, and then we will go back to the first option, and then we'll go to the second option.
Or people just yell the options. I think that's it.
Well, you can tell the difference between words.
Yeah, because these words are not yay or nay.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Mirage.
This is a problem we got into about an hour
I
ago.
am
Don't
so
worry about it.
confused.
That's all right. It's really.
Let's try a round.
It's really
This
simple.
is like a relationship drama, you know. I just pulled out the 5 years ago thing that happened, you know.
Mirage or Inferno? Mirage won. Matthew?
No, Inferno, clearly.
Yeah, you love Inferno. When we played Face It for that short stint before we never synced up again.
No, but you
Likes
have to,
playing Inferno on
in
Facebook.
our days, Inferno was so nice to play, so I think I still have that connection.
Okay.
Honestly,
And I like maps where you need to use your brain to win.
Yeah.
I don't think Mirage qualifies.
He's right.
I
kind
see
of
your
right.
Mirage players.
Kind of right. Fun fact: the first map I remember watching of you play was Inferno.
Okay.
And I know it was like a major qualifier or something. Maybe it's LDLC. Maybe it's even something different. I don't know.
Was I playing that?
Yeah, you were playing.
But you started in a good way then.
Like not the first Inferno I saw, but the first map of
I was
you.
I was your first.
You're my first, in many ways,
Oh.
but also in many other ways.
Yeah. Definitely.
But no, that's just a fun. I just actually remember the CS:GO Inferno, like the old with the little
when you could go up.
the little roof and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're going up on short. This is very memorable, and everyone was calling you a cheater at the time.
Wow.
Wait, me a cheater?
Yeah, that happened.
Well,
God, believe me,
must
that
be-
happened.
That must be a really long
That was
time
like
ago.
2014, 2015,
exactly.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Deagle or MP9? I think they're cultured because they did say Deagle. But Matthew?
So I wish I was good enough to enjoy the Deagle the way it should be.
Yeah.
The truth is I'm more of a sprayer, so the MP9 is right up the alley.
Pound for pound,
It's
best gun
true.
in the game.
MP9
But the Deagle is
is
amazing.
so strong. It's so strong right now.
You just spray and pray? That's what you do?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go next one. This is for the old heads in the room. Forest or Neo?
Ooh.
It started Neo and ended Forest.
I felt the other way.
Oh, really? Well, as someone who was a 1.6 player, how do you
God.
feel?
I think Pentagram Neo was probably the first one that gave me the feeling like, holy shit, like what this guy is doing is impossible. I have no idea how he's doing that. And the fact that he maintained, probably Neo.
I just love watching him do Red Rock. I called it Red Rock 2 jump. I don't know what you guys called it. Like the one. So
Red Rock
on
jump,
Nuke-
yeah, we would do.
Yeah, but like there's obviously
Yeah.
the Red Rock 2.
The long one.
Yeah, and you could like go the whole outskirts of yard.
Oh, you mean that one, all the way, that one?
Yeah.
The kind of cheaty one.
It wasn't cheating.
I don't think you could allow, it was allowed.
It was legal.
Okay.
We'll get Neo to
Yeah, on Nuke, of course it was legal.
Red Rock 2.
The outside one?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I believe so. I mean, I've seen it a couple times.
He used it in tournaments.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe early on. I think it was banned later.
That's when I was like, this guy's a god when he was doing that shit. Because like no one could do that movement.
It was from like the truck to the pillar and then up top.
Things we're talking about, guys, you never have to see it. Though. I can't even think
There's no movement in the game anyway, so...
There's nothing in CSGO or CS2 that's even similar.
Remote to that, yeah. I mean,
CSGO had the run boost on nuke outside at some point. When there's the
yeah, but
you need to go on the silo and run boost to land on the little a little vent, and then from that go on the railing.
To go but this is more extreme than that.
Yeah.
The amount of space you had was insane.
I mean, for people who don't know, Neo was the movement god of 1.6. Like he could do anything. Like he could do crazy shit nobody else could all the time, and it was amazing to watch.
All right, Cologne or Katowice? I feel we know where that's going. Auf geht's, Jungs.
Cologne.
Yeah, that does. I don't even feel that needs a description, does it?
No.
It's just pandering. This is just a pandering question.
Pandering question.
It's okay.
Well,
we have one. We deserve one pandering.
Yeah.
Best of 3 or best of 5? What did they say?
I think it was more
5 won this.
For every game. No more best of 1s. No more best of 3s. Best of 7 finals. Wow. They want more Counter-Strike.
I'm pretty sure Heku started this.
They want their money's worth, Chad.
Yeah, okay.
You do realize we work all the way of that best of 7.
Maybe we can start negotiating with the maps.
Okay, we do it map by map. No, I feel like this is a dangerous door to open.
No, because in a best of 7, we have a minimum of 4 maps.
You get to veto one, and you just don't have to work that one.
Yeah.
Same way you do
We
with the
rotate
series.
through.
Look at it this way. An excellent best of 3 or a lousy best of 5? Because that can happen too.
Excellent best of 3.
Yeah, I'll take an excellent best of 3.
I mean, lousy best of 5 can just be 3 maps anyways.
Yeah.
So like, what is?
No, but an
what is
excellent
that?
best of 5 is like one, going 13,
Well, that's like 2
11,
years ago.
or overtime.
2 years ago here.
Yeah?
Maybe this year again.
Well,
2 years ago.
Well, that was a best
2
of 5.
years ago, yeah.
That was best of
I
5.
heard 30 or 3, okay.
That was a banger best of 5.
Yeah, that was probably the best best of 5 we've ever had, at least somewhere there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. All right. Lastly, this one's mainly for you, Matthew. So you guys aren't involved in this one. This is exclusively for Matthew. Zywu, the #1 player in the world, or Vitality Team of the Year?
Look at
Zywu.
Wow! You'd give he's already had a good #1 in the world. You don't need another one?
I have an allegiance to brilliance when it comes to Counter-Strike. For team, it's just friendship. I respect Counter-Strike.
Wow. But what about Apex? You could get Team of the Year.
It's okay. He's a buddy of mine. We've had our days.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Had our
He
days.
also invested so much of himself
Into Zywu.
Zywu, yeah.
Yeah.
Zywu will be the best of all time, blah, blah.
But when that is the case, I'll have all the receipts and I'll enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Hey,
This little guy right
if
there.
Don keeps losing, you're going in the right way. All right, Matthew, I would like you to tell your anecdote about winning Meisterschaft.
An anecdote about winning Meisterschaft?
Yep. You're more German than everyone else on this couch.
Well, I guess, from the language.
Yep.
Start with. So it was Sprout at the time. I retired already.
Was it 2017 or 18?
I want to say 18 since I retired.
Yeah.
Or like fall 18 or something. Just after retiring, Sprout asked me. Denis was here. NATO Safix was here.
Dennis is here. He's
Dennis
right there.
is here. Hallo, wie geht's? Ja, sehr gut. And we had Cyclone coaching Mouse at the moment. So that was a serious team
What a
out there.
lineup.
I know, what a lineup, right?
Do you remember who you beat?
Oof. I feel like we played attacks at some point.
It would have been likely. But
But
it was
no.
it was in Gamescom.
It was in Gamescom.
Yeah.
It was in Gamescom. And it was a really great moment, honestly, like with casters and all. And I drank champagne from the cup.
Nice. Is it on the resume? Did you put that win on there?
No, I don't think I had my name in there. I didn't take any of the credit. I just like showed up, played Counter-Strike, I had a good time, and then I left.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about some more Counter-Strike in Germany. Maybe not as good. Don't worry, we're not talking about that game.
What game are you talking about?
I don't know, Matthew.
What are you trying to referring to?
I'm not sure. Let's talk about the tournament at hand. When the 10-year anniversary, we'll sit down next year and we'll rewind.
Renegades, I don't.
Oh my God! Oh my. Okay.
Well, it'll be 10 years next year.
Let's clear out the air once and for all.
No, but the thing is, here's what you got to realize. Chad obviously beating me at the major is like a highlight.
Yeah.
I forgot this moment.
For you, it's true.
I forgot all about it. He reminds me every event that happened, and I forget as a cycle, and then he traumatizes me every event.
You know how lucky we got with that as well, because the third map, or it was best of one. The map got decided from 3 out of it was randomized.
Yeah, of course it went to Mirage.
So neither of us wanted to play Mirage.
This goddamn map.
And then we ended up playing a map we didn't want to play. And
they had like strategies that made like no sense. We'd never seen before. It's like, what are these kangaroos doing? Like, what the hell is going on? And they destroyed us.
That was a literal quote from the TeamSpeak.
They destroyed us. I gotta say it. It is true.
Did you use the kangaroos line?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Might have been a bit more harsh, I imagine.
Oh, if people knew the TeamSpeak at the time, we'd all be done
French. All right, let's focus on this year's rendition of Cologne, because there's been some big moments, and some of them we discussed at the start of the show. We were just touching on some of the surprises, and one of them, I want to start with Spirit. Let's start negative and go positive.
Oh yeah, so we're going in for a good mood from the begining.
Yes, because I want to, like, Liquid is kind of good and bad at the same time. So let's start with Spirit. I think Spirit's a fun one to talk about here, because coming into this event, a lot of people had high expectations of this team. Right, Na'Vi the number 1 team in the world, but I think for Spirit they were a lot of people's favorites, or spoken about as definitely one of the favorites. So, first of all, were you working the matches that they're on? Because I know you rewatch when you're on the bike in the gym.
Unfortunately, I wasn't working any of the games. I followed the Spirit Mongol games from a distance. I saw the first map going to overtime, then losing. Then I just thought, okay, Spirit's gonna bounce back. It's gonna be all good. When I opened the HLTV again, they had lost. And then for G2 Spirit. So hear me out. I had the best setup. I ordered food. I had a glass of wine. I was watching this game in good company. I was ready for a banger of a game. And this was the most disappointing showing ever.
Yes.
I've never been so sad about a game.
I had to cast that.
Oh my, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I loved how you guys, both you and Machine on Twitter, kind of like went back after that game, be like, this is going to be a banger game, and never using this line again. This might be a pretty decent game, but also might be shit.
Yeah.
Never.
If you want to watch, you can. Maybe come back when the score gets to 11-11 and we're about to go into overtime.
Like, just starting for the first half on Nuke, didn't even see half the kills because like it was just hunters spamming the smoke indoor, killing Zontix.
Yeah.
And then Spears is like, oh, well, we don't have lobby control, we can't do anything, and just dying randomly around the map. And second map, even better. I don't know even how to explain that.
I like how emotionally loaded this is for you.
But
like
I also was invested in watching this game, and then what I saw was nothing. It was like you replace Spirit names with, I don't know, Tai Lu, and you're like, it's another Asian team getting destroyed. Why do we invite them?
They got Starry and G now.
I'm just saying, this is what people would say, not me. I'm being the people right now.
Come on, now you could have picked the worst team. You could have said FlyQuest.
Oh, it's okay because it's you. It's okay because it's you.
I thought that was good.
It was a good
because it's coming from you.
But like, people are too nice here. That's the problem. We have a very nice.
What about the people in Twitch chat? They're not nice.
Oof. And Omega Lulz.
Okay, they kind of liked it. All right, look, now, there's a lot of conversation about Spirit and what's going to happen. Prof said that you said that they're not going to make a roster change.
I didn't.
I mean,
objection.
The reason for that is I think it's too close to the major at this point. And I mean, the one that everybody's calling for is not going to happen for the reason that Perfecto has to be used for the...
So explain this, because people would like to see Perfecto join Spirit, right? That is a conversation in the internet right now, the vast internet.
Yeah.
Why is it not possible?
I'm not sure if it's... I have to say I don't remember this specific part of the rules about the close qualifier lineups and how much they can use that for their RMR, but I think they can't. Once you have somebody submitted for the close qualifier, you can't have them submitted for
another team.
Major or the RMR.
Even with the new rules?
I would have to double check on that, but historically that was not allowed. Once you pass the open qualifier stage, you would not be able to be submitted for another team.
Yeah, because they're essentially using Perfecto to get the invite to the close qualifier. And then what they do later, they're probably going to sub him out. That is what we expect.
Yeah.
But if he gave him the spot, then how can they replace him? Then they don't have the core anymore, right?
Sure.
There's a lot of similar situations in the past. Obviously, I'm kind of here with Striker. If he doesn't know, then no one knows. But in the past, this was not possible. So I don't think it's possible for Spirit to get him now before the...
I also don't think so. But somebody, I mean, it could obviously be somebody else that they could exchange. I mean, they still have some time before they have to put in their RMR lineups. I don't know what the date for that is, but I think it's some time away. So that would
to the best of your knowledge, it will not be perfecto.
I don't think
if
so,
there is
no.
to be a roster.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
So if it's not perfecto, right? If this is the understanding, and we can't think of another name,
But do we actually think that they do need a roster change?
well, that's where I'm going, because the dialogue.
Maybe the audience can say.
Do you guys think Spirit need a roster change? Okay, mainly no. Somewhat, some excited yeses there, but it's a shocking result, and I think the reason that the roster change conversation starts is because of how shocking the result was, right? And then I remember talking to some people, some players actually at the hotel, and they were like, "Yeah, like, did you see Zontix's interview? He's like body language," and I'm like, "Isn't that just Zontix?
I think that was every time.
Isn't he just dead inside? Like."
He won Katowice and he had that interview, so it doesn't matter, man.
He's the same. They're winning or losing, so I don't think we should hold that against him.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think it's really hard to be rational about this whole situation with Spirit because of how extreme the losses were.
13-1, 13-3 in case you
I mean,
guys
they existed a half of a map or a map.
Yeah.
If you're willing to be a bit more generous, like the Ancient against Spirit, and that's it. After that, against Mongols. After that, it's like ghosting through the entire event. And it's really hard to remain reasonable.
Whoa! I was making a joke because Matthew's here. I don't actually think that, for the record.
Can you repeat it?
I said like Zywo in playoffs. I don't actually think that. I don't actually.
No, but that's a good one.
I'm trying.
But I'll use it against you when
I'm
he
trying
wins.
to be edgy.
I'll use it against
sorry,
you.
Matthew.
No, but I was just. I really think because we don't know what's happened from within, like from the inside of the team, and it feels like a meltdown has happened. Like it's more than just, we played bad CS today and that's it. There must have been like some deep meltdown happening. Because we don't know about it, I feel like talking roster change is premature and it's like super short term. Even if you could today change Zontix to Perfecto, if there wasn't any of these like administrative issues, you could arguably have a better team on day one. But like, how about the vision for that team? Like, how about in 6 months? How about in a year, in 2 years? Like, do we think now that Zontix is already too limited and that's it? I don't believe that's a statement that we can do. I don't think it's a conclusion you can make right now. Because if you just do the lazy thing of, Spirit lost, stat, organized, Zontix 059, remove.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I mean, if you look at their team-wide stats, it's literally like Donk is their best at like 0.8.
It's a 0.8
or 86 or something like that. It was their best player.
Kick
so
everyone.
it's not one. What's right?
Kick everyone.
Exactly.
Just remove the whole team.
It's not one player.
Disband.
It's some sort of a team-wide issue, and I think the writing was already on the wall at the blast groups. I mean, from looking at the complexity game, there were really weird moves, and honestly, they were not supposed to win that game. It was like the Shiro 1v2 that just saved their asses, and like it was classic complexity, just throwing away games
but I know
that they are supposed to win. And even the way that they were leading up to that, like there were rounds where I was like, what is this? Like this Spirit doesn't look like Spirit. Shiro is making aggressive moves in positions where he's putting himself in 3 different angles and with an op on the lower bomb side of Nuke. Zontix is just pushing up as the solo ramp guy, where if he dies, they have an empty site in a 5v4 situation. And you're like, what is this? Like, this is not a team Counter-Strike that we saw from Spirit before.
And I agree with you, and I thought that because it had been a little bit iffy in Copenhagen, it would put them in the right mindset for Cologne. Right? Because it's not like they're just destroying everyone and they show up here and they have a bit of hubris or whatever. I thought they would actually be disciplined. And I don't know if they just... I don't think they saw themselves too good or too pretty, but I think they got a little bit lazy with the protocols they were supposed to use in order to win. Right? If you get to the mindset where I'm Donk, I white swing and I beat you, or I'm Zontix, I cross the smoke because I'm a genius. Cheers, Chatty. If you actually do that, you can get punished. And I think that's what happened, and they were not capable of like rewiring their mindset during the event. Like they probably started as in, we're about to kick shit. Right? We're about to really take names here. Oh, that's not happening. And then that switch where they were supposed to tighten up their game, they just got frustrated. They just got disjointed. And that this is like a more of a mental breakdown than anything.
But then that's like a huge warning sign for their mental. Like,
of course,
the way this tournament went is so concerning because championship winning teams lose games, lose in overtime or win in overtime against Mongols.
They don't get blown out.
And then pull it off, you know. And this was horrible.
Yeah.
Like that Mirage, I feel it was so bad. There was nothing happening. They were just like waiting to die. They just wanted the game to end as soon as, but that's how it felt.
Yeah,
watching it.
I don't want to. I was taught. I'm not going to say.
You had an interview with Zontix, no?
Me?
No, with somebody on the stream, not specifically you, but in the game. I think you were casting the game. It doesn't matter.
I was doing Spirit versus G2. Yeah. But they did. I saw the interview before.
Right.
But I think they interviewed after. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to some players and coaching staff from one team who's still in the event, so you can narrow it down from there. But I'm not going to say which one of them. and they were saying that they think, or at least the coach was saying that he thinks that Spirit is like one of the weakest tactically in the top 20.
Wow.
Well, that's. Oh, sorry, I have like a mosquito.
Yeah, there's a couple flying around.
That's a little bit too much. That's kind of a crazy statement.
Yeah.
Because if you actually look at the wins they've had, I think it's such laziness to just think, oh, donk, firepower, it works. Like, they actually had some very intricate ways to play rounds, like some really good strategies as well, super strong post-plan protocols. You can't just say they play the worst CS.
The problem I have with the way that they approach the game, and you saw it in the series where they were getting blown out, which is the exception, not the rule, is that after the initial death or the initial they didn't get the map control they wanted, they were just plotting around. They didn't have another plan. They didn't have reactions. They didn't have, which is why that conversation of, tactically they might not be a good, like a strong team in the top 20 or over the top 20 could be is maybe their protocols or the decisions or their way to work out of holes is poor. And in that game, that's definitely was a problem. They didn't have ways back into rounds if their initial gambit didn't work.
Yeah, because they got used to,
getting away with Donk.
They had such a luxury in the first 6 months of the year where any 50-50 or even 40-60 duel with Donk would go in, he would win it. And when he'd get traded, you'd still have a 2-for-1, and then Chopper had like the luxury of saying, okay, this is the space I have, the territory I have, there's so much on the clock, easy peasy, let's just take it. And that wasn't the case there. Like, he wasn't actually finding these opening kills. They probably, I don't know if they were surprised by it or if they just have never worked their way through it.
Sure. Yeah, that could be a problem that they were presented with, that they were having a hard time dealing with, right? But also think about the firepower of the team. If you compare, so Shiro and Donk, very strong. Zontix, I think, was very good earlier on in the year in his positions, but that's not a conversation I'd be having at the moment with how some of these games have gone.
He was good in London,
he had like very off games or like single maps, but like most of the year he was there, so he was still up there. It's more like the last couple of tournaments.
I feel like for a third star, he's not that good.
Right,
compared to other third stars.
That's what I was going to go. Like comparing it to other strong teams.
I feel like he should be the fourth star on the team, not the third.
Who's the third star on Vitality?
Flames or Spinks, depending on who you put. It's Flames or Spinks, depending on who you would put second.
And that might even be map dependent, right? But that's I would put them above Zontix.
But it's supposed to be Flames. It was supposed to be Flames.
G2.
But I also don't think Zontix is the same, like playing the same positions as these guys are.
No, but that could be a whole nother issue of what we like. But for example, Maubs, you'd put as the third star of G2, right?
No, Maubs,
yeah. Then who else can we go through? Mouse, who would be the third star of Mouse?
I mean, they have three, so it's like any of them at any different day.
That's it, right?
What about Navi?
The third star of Navi. Well,
you want to find the first one first, or
I think that's the hardest thing.
I don't know. It'd probably be Bit, right? Like with recent form.
I mean, third has to be JL at this point. JL had to.
I mean, wonderful in Bit on 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and
but
then you have a discussion with his JL
now, especially because of the big games that he's had and stuff like that. I think in moments where it matters the most, I think it's JL.
Yeah, JL is the most Rain-like player I've seen in quite a while in terms of having to take a duel when you have to, and people are jiggle peeking, and you know exactly what it is. Like the 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. I kind of peeked, I tried.
He just goes.
JL just goes in.
Yeah.
He will take that space.
I respect the way JL plays Counter-Strike. He definitely makes the decisions that not a lot of players want to make, and he gets very good at it. So for Spirit, what is our if you had to project the rest of the season for Spirit, it can't be as bad as that loss, right? That would feels like it's impossible. I feel like this consensus is there isn't a roster change coming.
I wouldn't if I
would be surprised.
Was in charge.
They are very fast to make roster change.
Yes,
can be.
But
that's the thing.
Roster for Shiro, who was like,
would they go? Would they turn to players that we don't know? Do you or are they at a position now where they're more established and they turn to players that we do know?
If they are making a change, it should be a more aggressive player. I think
not like but does it have to even be Zontix? Could you replace Magix?
I think so. I don't think you should replace. I think like even Zontix or Perfecto is a dumb move. I don't think they should do that.
Yeah, because another issue that you have, and it works when both Shiro and Dong are full force, and it kind of masks the issue. But you don't really have a third player who is dedicated or to whom the freedom and everything is given. It's kind of a game of musical chair between Chopper and Zontix and Magix, like who takes the shitty position on map XYZ, who takes the fall on another one. I feel like they do these rotating positions. There's no clear. That's why we're struggling to say who's the clear number.
I mean, Magix would be probably the one who takes the most steps back out of those three on most maps, I would say. But I mean, I would have to look up the positions again, but that's what it feels like to me when I'm watching them. Like he's usually the one who's just like running into unwinnable situations or just saving most of the time somewhere, you know, like not really being able to have an impact if the players don't come to his site, you know. So like anchoring the hardest positions typically. Not always, of course, but that's usually how it is, you know. But that's why they've kept him for this long, because he's capable of taking all the bitch spots, and he's okay with that, right? Like, I mean, they've spoken really highly of him historically because of that, and that's why he's the only player outside of Chopper who's stayed there for such a long time. So,
and you have Chopper, not exactly like Apex, but Chopper also has a few positions that require movement. And and that's great as a leader if you have the game sense, it's fine, but you need to deliver right behind. If you don't, then suddenly there's like a huge gap of input of frags that these positions beckon, that some other players in other teams are actually much stronger. So if he's not fragging as well, you put two other players who are technically stronger in positions with less movement, less freedom, less resources. And that's the issue that you have too.
So is this just a one-off tournament? Do we expect Spirit to bounce back, or do we expect more problems in the future?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, compared to this, there's no way they can go any further down. That's one way.
But they came into this tournament, if we return to the bar that was set or their expectation, one of the favorites.
Yeah.
And they got absolutely destroyed. They had 3 maps that were single digits: a 13-4, a 13-1, a 13-3.
Yeah.
So, right, the bounce back is not just do they come and are they competitive. The expectation would be for them to make the playoffs in the next event.
Pro League must be.
Yeah.
Playing Pro League, right?
Yeah.
It's a bad test. It's a bad test. Yeah, sure.
But it is the
Don't shit on our circus, motherfucker. We have fun.
We're trying, okay?
We're doing the best we can with what we got, prof.
What you are doing and the games are two different things for me.
Well,
you are doing a great job.
We're trying to entertain you between the games.
Yeah, that part is amazing. Love that.
Yeah, how about entertaining us during the games as well?
Well,
one of the games.
That's where the woke mind virus comes.
But I was gonna say, like, actually, Pro League is kind of the perfect place for them to reset and build back, because they have 3 fucking chances to get somewhere, and then from there.
Last chance qualifier.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, enough of Spirit.
Okay.
Liquid.
Nobody wanted to give a hard opinion. You all think they'll bounce back. That's fine. I don't want to give an opinion.
But what is your opinion?
I am concerned. I'm concerned.
I think,
write it down.
I think that something's happening. I don't know what it is, but something's happening.
Oh, so you're willing to take risks, I see.
Yep. No, look.
Are you putting money on it?
The worst bit about the loss, okay, this is the worst bit about the loss, is after they lost, Alex and I went outside, and where we go outside is like this grated type balcony thing, and you go down these stairs to where the shuttles are. And we were out there, and we're like, I can't believe that's over. That was shit. Like, we were talking shit about the series. Like, what's wrong? Like, Spirit of fucked. Like, it wasn't nice vernacular. We weren't shitting on them or anything. We were kind of just a bit frazzled that the game was so one-sided. And then as we're walking down the stairs, Chopper's sitting on the bottom of the stairs having a cigarette. I felt a little bit bad if he heard what we were saying. That was the worst bit about the series for me. Because otherwise, you know, it was kind of a good game. Anyway, look, Liquid. Let's talk about the other calamity. You ever lost a game?
Is that how we intro it?
Yeah.
Calamity?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who'd they beat?
Who they beat?
Pain?
By complexity, that's not
Furia?
that bad. Hey, complexity is not that bad if you're Liquid.
Twice.
What are you, American?
No.
I gotta deal with the complexity supporter of Jason every podcast.
We have one American here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just be saying that. Like, the O2 versus FaZe is very, very respectable early on. It's like, it goes to 23, 24 rounds all the way. And then, yes, sure, there's this absolutely catastrophe of a comeback that's happening, where you can't just say it's a calamity. You cannot say Cologne was a calamity for them.
No, well, I'm going to be harsher on them because my friend Justin's in the team, and they should have won. So I'm not.
You are disappointed.
I'm not going to be more sympathetic.
You are hurt.
I'm going to be like, why didn't you win a round? Why didn't you just win the game? You just needed 1. That's all you needed. Didn't you want that 1 round? You definitely did, because you were heartbroken.
I know you had this conversation with Justin already.
I haven't.
Like, you've had it rehearsed.
I haven't.
Okay.
Like, he sent me a message after, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast, and that was it. And then we played some FaZe today.
He needed your attention and your support, and you just gave him the.
I was busy.
Yeah, we're kind of friends.
This is a bad.
The guy just lost the greatest comeback.
Bad parent.
I have a podcast to do.
He used to be he came in TeamSpeak with me and Rush every day for like 7 months, and then when he was asked what he was doing at Blast for the last 7 months while I was on the bench, he said nothing.
Chilling.
It was just I was doing nothing. What do you mean you're doing nothing? We were keeping you in shape.
Yeah.
And then we played FaZe today, and we played 2 games. So there
You
go.
played FaZe today with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
How does it feel to be #1 elo of all Australians on FaZe?
Yeah, look, I just want to thank my family for making this possible. It's quite an honor. I've worked hard for this. I've been grinding day in. No,
I mean,
Maybe you should go to
he
Liquid.
has.
You have.
He's been playing the game.
yeah, it's fun.
I know.
Yeah. But it's good, because a lot of people think that you have to get 30 kills a game to win. You don't need to do that. You just need to win the important rounds.
You just need to get your teammates to get 30
Exactly.
kills. Yeah.
And when I realize that I'm playing with a couple of guys who can shoot, I've set them up. I drop them the AK, I flash them in. It's great. But we got to talk about Liquid, guys.
Yep.
We're not talking about me. We're talking about Liquid. So who?
Is
We
it
have
success
positives.
or is it a disaster? Okay, we have two options.
Can we
But
pick
if you
both?
start with the disaster, you end with the positive. If you
Yeah.
start with the positive, you end with the disaster.
It doesn't matter where we start. It's more about the overall feeling.
I think what I saw from them overall was good.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just continue from Blast, kind of what we spoke about online. The team play is really good. Like the trading is really good. The cohesion is really good. And I think just having that is already so much better than so many teams, honestly. Like having that is such a new
Definitely
vibe.
better than the last couple of Liquid rosters.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not taking any risk with that. Yeah.
So
It wasn't that hard.
no, I just think that instantly makes them like a top 10 team, which is crazy for a team that just got put together and have a guy from Poland that apparently is good at all.
That's Roland from Poland.
Roland
to
from
you.
Poland, yes.
He is Roland.
Yeah.
He is rolling everyone.
He's the
almost.
best bit of the general stuff that you've touched on there. I think they're all, besides him, everybody is an accomplished Counter-Strike player with a big trophy at least, right? At least one with all those. Well, actually, Yakinda, maybe not. Sorry, Heku. It's okay. We'll get there. He won a tournament. He won
Won a
It
tournament.
happened.
He won.
I don't remember which one it was, but he won one. Flash. Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we will. But I think Ultimate playing the way he did is what blew most people's expectations away.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody had any expectations, and the way that he played was phenomenal.
I mean, it's insane that the guy is like obviously the best player on the team right now. Like obviously looking at even statistically from every kind of angle and looking.
Chad,
at
he's
every
looking for a
game.
confirmation. You should be like,
well, my mind, I know that Twist has some off games, but for me, Twist is the best player on the team.
Yeah.
But is that from like a subjective standpoint, or is that the kind of?
What are you
why
saying?
do you say that?
Are you saying because I went to his wedding?
I mean, I didn't.
humble brag somehow. I don't
I
know.
think
That's
in
a
this
flex.
tournament, obviously,
Yes,
Ultimate was their best player.
Right.
But I think that Twist still is their best player.
Even being an in-game leader.
Yeah, and I think that's why he stays in that slot, because
Okay.
he is the
Ultimate
in-game leader.
played the best, but Twist is the best player.
Yeah, and I think Twist still can have really strong output, and he showed that. He definitely had some games that was below his standard.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. I'm on the Twist hype train and how he played in Cologne while being the IGL, while figuring stuff out. While all of that is amazing. Don't you feel like we did the same with Device when he started in Astralis?
Well, I apologize for that already once today. I'm happy to do my...
It's not even just about Astralis.
Penance.
yeah.
Penance.
Yeah, it is.
It's not just Astralis. Is that I also thought that Device is going to maintain this incredible level we saw at the beginning, and it was mind-blowing. And then that didn't happen. So are we just getting trapped again?
Nah.
What about Electronic and Navi when he was IGLing the first time?
Oh yeah, that was that
They
Lisbon?
won Lisbon. Yeah.
The Lisbon one, yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew, you're meant to be the
Third
positive guy.
I'm trying to ground you, Chaddy. This is my job.
I want to keep my faith in him, because
I have it too.
his work ethic, I think, that's the thing. I'm sure Device has a pretty good work ethic.
Yeah.
Electronic,
He's always
I
been
don't
the guy
know.
who's
I don't know.
been
I
well known for
can't attest for...
You've been a leader. You've had a few victories over the years.
Yeah.
Had a
Well,
few.
pretty small ones, but...
Pretty small one.
Yeah.
But there's this moment where you stop just trying the best with what you have, and everybody gives 150% because we're not quite ready, but that's okay. To then you actually do the deep work of the playbook, and you address the
Yeah,
issues.
I don't know.
And that switch is usually hard.
But
Well,
this is the thing. He was already doing that when KDM was in the roster. Him and Yakinda were doing the playbook, right? They because KDM didn't. It was Twist, and
Not at the end, at least. Yeah.
they were doing it, right? So, and then he comes into this roster, and he already did it before the roster, he did it before his wedding. He did the whole playbook and stuff, because then he got married, and then he had time off, and then they had to play.
And he had a fucking documentary made about him at the same time.
At the same
It's
time.
insane to me,
Yeah,
like
the
how
guy's
this guy is
spinning a lot of
finding
plates.
time.
I don't know how he
It's
does it.
incredible.
But the thing is, when I've done a lot of talking with him, and let me tell you this much. He understands that he still needs to be a star player of the team if they're going to win. Like, it's not like I'm an in-game leader now and I'm just going to buy an MP9 and jump around a corner and get traded. It's like, I'm still going to play my positions and I'm still going to fuck people up. He didn't use those words, but
honestly, I could imagine him.
Like, that's the way he was talking, like the understanding behind what he needs to do in these type of roles and positions, right? But I understand why we're skeptical because, yeah, you're right. There are examples where a star player takes over an in-game leadership role and then they struggle.
I mean, I wish for him to maintain this level. I really do, because I also think in today's Counter-Strike, some leaders maintain these star positions, but they don't have the output. What if he can do it? What if he can keep playing Connector on Mirage?
Then it essentially changes the game.
Exactly. If he can't do that, then you move in with sort of different set of rules. So Twist, huge positive. Ultimate, incredible find. I mean, we have to be careful because the sample size is small, but you can already see he's got the attitude.
The potential's there.
He's not risk averse.
I love that word, potential.
But what I was going to say is, and I'm again sorry for Heko. Yeah, there's a lot of these flying right now. Yakindar might be the only one that you can really question at this moment.
Even Justin, I think, on T side. On T side.
Okay.
You think his CD side is better than T side?
I think so. Yeah, I think CD side is really good.
I don't know if I've seen him.
He had some bad moments.
I've seen him getting abused a couple times, strategically speaking, if you allow me.
Okay.
But I think
I'm not sure that any of this has actually cost them in the games that they probably could have won. If anything, I think I don't know if I can put it just on Twist being the game leader and being as inexperienced as he was, but especially those two FaZe games. There were moments where I felt like the game plan was lacking. I mean, towards the beginning of the first game against FaZe, it took them quite a bit to get into that Mirage until they realized, okay, we can't just run fast plays and we just have to go back to something more set, and we're just not going to get away with this one firepower. And then the ending of Nuke, where they just kind of gave out in the last moments, where FaZe just basically turtled on the CT side, and Swizz didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to call. Like, it was clear that they did not have a clear plan of how to break through this. There were moments where they were just running into FaZe who were stacking in the right place. It didn't seem like they had a read on them. It's just they didn't get Twist or Liquid didn't get the openings they needed, and he didn't know what to do with that. But he didn't switch up the pace in moments where it needed to. Like the Mirage game where they lost obviously from the 11-1 or 12-3 even. It was kind of the same thing. I mean, there were moments where they just froze for a moment. And they had moments where they could have taken over the site much faster, and somehow they were just slow into it. And they allowed FaZe to rotate with 3 people to the site. Like, FaZe were so fucking fast in rotates, and Liquid were so slow in taking the sites.
No, I want to say just like it's kind of, I think it's 50% preparation tactical stuff, which you can excuse. And then 50%, I think it's mental for the Liquid guys who really felt under pressure. No one was stepping up and being like, okay, I can make this play, I can find the space, because there was space on that map. It was literally playing, FaZe was playing 3-2 on sites, all of mid was open. Like, you can't tell me there's no space to make a play for like a single player. Maybe this is like JKS going out of apps and finding a kill on A while they go B or short or whatever. It really felt such a uninspired, like, basic bitch T side on Mirage. Like, no offense.
No, that got some gasps. That got some gasps from the audience.
A bit rough. Now the problem that they have is that they played a couple rounds middle, but a lot of them they had like either semi-buys or absolutely nothing. Yeah. And so mentally you get into the idea that they're always smacking you when you play mid, which is not exactly true. But the problem, and what FaZe did that was actually incredible, is that they, just like Djokovic, that they always just traded the ball. Like, there's never 2 entries. There's never a moment where you feel like after 10 seconds, that's it, you're into the side, you're going to be fine. It's always, I get 1, I get traded. I get 1, there's another one trading me. I'm forced into the 3v3. And there's like 3 gun rounds at the very least that, for me, Liquid plays correctly. Not beautifully, but correctly. Yeah. And FaZe just stay alive.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I remember 3 that they didn't. I mean, nobody was trading each other on the Liquid side, and that's what allowed FaZe to turtle and then be able to rotate in time.
Once you get to 12-8, you have to imagine, as a player, you're in Liquid. You're about to beat FaZe to make it to Lanxess. You start on 12-3. Okay, 1 round passes, 2 round passes. You start getting a little nervous, but that's okay. You've lost now 3 gun rounds. Now you feel helpless. And the scoreline is starting to change. And even though it's 12-8, they're in control. That's what happened. And it's only because you're a new team and you don't have players who are like capable of superseding that. But I could see in Liquid's game plan that they were the one under pressure when FaZe should have been. FaZe were 1 round away from being eliminated.
Of course.
But they've done just enough to tell them, listen, like, I'm not going to give you the round. Like, you might be good, sure, but you're going to have to win this round. I'm never going to give it to you.
It was funny how FaZe started out with the whole Brokey round, and just flipping off Liquid instantly. I thought that was like the perfect way to set up the comeback because they were just so no fucks given throughout that entire half, and they just treated it like that from the first round that they got back, and that was insane to me.
The round, I actually think the round that wins FaZe everything is after Liquid win that one round on the T side.
Yeah.
The round right after, if you go back and watch the VOD, Carrigan switches gun, gives his M4 to, I think, Frozen.
Okay.
And he goes and plays B alone with nothing. He's got basically like a CZ or an MP9. And that is a stack. That's a gamble. That's a decision from the very beginning. It's like, we're going to play 3.5 on A alone on B. If you get executed on B at this moment, the game is over. That's it. But because Liquid then tried to attack the A side and they got absolutely smacked, suddenly you have money. Like, come back like that.
I wonder if that was part of preparation, by the way, because I mean, if you look at from the first FaZe game, it was basically all either A executes fast or just mid-control into some sort of a split, either A or B. It doesn't matter, like either way, they just had one person on each side, and then they just decided if they're going to go up short or connector. I don't think there was a single B execute in that entire game. So maybe that was the read. They were like, okay, it's unlikely that they will execute B from the start of the round.
People are saying in chat that it's like a Frozen called. That's the same round, and there was a 5-7.
Oh, people, there's the voice comms now. I really want to hear that because they just
I haven't watched that yet.
It just was released like an hour.
Yeah, Carrigan put out on his YouTube the whole voice comms of the comeback.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to hearing that. Because
to join your point, Strike, I agree with you. When you see the comeback and how it happens, in hindsight, which is always 2020, you would have loved Liquid to be more daring with the calls. Yeah. Because you have the margin. Hey, here comes the B hit after 10
I don't even mean it's like specific calls or anything. I mean more situations where they should have pushed the envelope. They didn't. They just froze and they didn't.
But doesn't that just come down to Twist being a new in-game leader?
It can be, absolutely. Right? But that's why I was saying it at the first place. That even though we can't really blame Twist for anything, I mean there were moments where you could tell that there's some inexperience.
It's one of these scenarios like when you get into overtime, for example. There's like the whole debate of do we want to play the first round in overtime as like if you win the first half of overtime 3-0, right? You go into the second half, let's say you're T-side now. You have 3 rounds to work with to get the 1 round. Do you want to play the first round fast and execute heavy, or do you want to try and default your way into the win, and then by the time you get to the 3rd round, they're going to go, well, they're probably going to try something fast or execute heavy. You had the same thing with Liquid, but over essentially 11 rounds.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a leader thought process right there.
Yeah, well if they had just run, if they had just run A execute for the whole half, they probably would have won the 1 round.
Same with the B-pop, huh?
Yeah, right?
7 B-pops in a row.
Which is easy to say, and maybe they wouldn't have, right? But I think there would have been it's like the monkey doing the multiple choice. It just probably puts fucking C for every answer, and you're still going to get a pass or mark or something like that, right? Like,
why are you looking at Prof when you say that?
Sorry, Prof.
That's a bit rough.
It's all right.
I don't want to make monkey. I wanted to make monkey noises, but I think
I'm glad you saved him. But look, I think overall everyone's quite positive on the Liquid project. The loss in itself, or the win for FaZe, maybe there's some FaZe fans. Mixed bag.
That was begrudging.
It's an iconic victory because of Brokey giving the finger, right? And like the whole how
do we feel about that, by the way? Because a lot of people were talking shit to Donk when he was doing some shouting in Russian that nobody understands.
Yeah,
and then Brokey does this for half of a game.
The Russians understand it. I'm sure the Ukrainians do too. And then when it gets
but
translated.
I think everybody understands this.
Yeah, but like,
I'm not saying either way it's bad or not bad. I'm just saying there's some, people are treating Brokey very differently compared to how they were treating
The internet's
Donk.
a fragile place. How many people were shocked when Brokey gave them the finger?
Nobody's shocked. Oh, one.
Nobody.
Yeah, right? Like, hey, who gives a fuck?
I'm cool. I got no problem.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a big talking point at the moment, isn't it? We're not Valorant.
That's right, we're not.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah. Okay, so look, Matthew, as much as I'd love to sit here and talk to you all evening.
Gotta go?
Well,
it's been a pleasure.
I want to ask you overall who you think's going to win the event.
I imagine I have to give you like a one name. I can't like finagle my way out of it.
Bro, you
can't say Zywoo, but you could say Vitality.
But I do think that FaZe will beat Saw. They will go on to play Vitality. And the winner of that game is the winner of IEM Cologne.
Really?
Okay, that's interesting.
So either FaZe or Vitality.
You did finagle.
I said I would.
Yes.
I tried to preface it.
Can I ask you some questions then?
Chad, I thought we were out of time.
No, but I got 2 questions.
Yes, you can ask me questions.
What do you make of G2's form at the moment, and why do you think that they wouldn't win over either of those teams?
Form is absolutely terrifying. We don't know how MUTiRiS is going to fare in Lanxess. That's one question. I trust in Nico's crazy performance to maintain. Same with m0NESY. Hunter is going to regress to the mean a little bit, but he will still remain a big stage player, so that won't change. I think Na'Vi can be a good block because of tactically how strong they are. And I think the best of 5 might be too much of a test for a G2 that definitely doesn't have the playbook yet. So that's where I stand.
Okay, I like that reasoning.
Na'Vi FaZe grand final would be absolutely epic.
Rematch of the major.
Major Copenhagen best of 5. And Na'Vi Vitality would be great because I would guess to win Cologne.
All right. Well, there it is. Okay. Well,
do we have any questions maybe regarding something? Anyone?
Regarding something?
Like life in general?
No. Okay.
No. The complexity need a roster
Yes,
change.
they need 2.
Yeah.
They need 2.
They need at least 1, yeah.
Excuse me?
At least 1, yeah.
They need 2.
Who are the 2?
Oh, at this point in time, Grim and Floppy, I think it's time.
Really? It wouldn't.
But who do you even get?
Oh, I don't have the solution right there.
Okay, so...
Oh God, some ideas.
There's a solution.
There's one. There's one.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
You don't think Halzak is a problem?
I don't think it's the solution. But I don't think it's the problem.
The thing is, if there was a good replacement, I think that would also be an obvious place to go.
Aren't AWPers easier to get than the other 2 roles? Like, let's say you keep Floppy, you get rid of Grim, you get Swisher, and then you get an AWPer from Europe. That's not Halzak.
Who are you getting?
Yeah, well, this is the other problem. There's 2 big ones with complexity, and it's not just like, because we could suggest anybody, but here's the 2 issues with the complexity now. They're no longer backed by the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have
big buyout money.
The funds or the sway. So the sway to get the visa and the funds to buy a big player. They lose those 2 things. So complexity are actually in a shit spot when it comes to
just surviving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think Cole are going to do anything.
Yeah, I think they just want to get to the major, get the major money, stickers.
And then maybe they
then invest it.
Maybe.
Invest it into the market.
I'm not going to say that, but...
Invest in the summit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matthew, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
I don't want to kick you out, but
no, please.
Just flew by very
yeah, well, it's already...
you're too kind. You're too kind.
It's 10 to 10, so...
I'm out.
Yeah.
Guys, enjoy the show.
Thanks, Matthew. All right. Well, we got a bunch more guests we got to get through before we close the show tonight. There's a couple of them. If you kill one, let me know. They're not mosquitoes. They're just like little flies.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, we had a few Germans here, right? Yeah, wunderschön. All right, let's bring out our next guest. We've got Denis and Rhyzar, if I've said that correctly, from XPERION NXT. Let's bring them out. Oh, Denis is right here. Hello, gentlemen.
What did you say?
Do you want me to? Well, I said hello, gentlemen. We could do it in German. Wie geht's dir?
Sehr gut. Und dir?
Es geht so.
Warum das?
I need another beer.
Okay.
Thank you. Dankeschön. Look, now, who's not familiar with Denis? Maybe there's someone newer in the audience. Once upon a time, this gentleman right here, playing in MUTiRiS for many a year. You played with Sprout. You're a German mainstay. And now you've been hitting the gym, mate. You're getting
amazing.
Yeah, look
amazing.
at him. Look at the gun show. Fucking hell.
What's the split?
The split is push full body, pull full body, 1 day rest, and then
do it all again.
Okay.
Serious business.
I mean, after my career, I had some time.
Yeah. Why not?
I decided to hit the gym. Yeah.
Okay. Now, look, you got this young gentleman here next to you. What is the involvement? What is the relationship?
How did we find you actually? I don't know. He's
probably playing Counter-Strike somewhere.
After my career, Christian Lenz came to me, also my former manager in Mousesports and some months in Big.
That was a little stint. Yep.
Yeah.
Also Virtus Pro when they won the Katowice Major 2014. You can see him on photos.
Yeah. And yeah, after that he asked me because he was leaving Big and he was joining the Esports Player Foundation. It's like a talent scouting foundation. And he asked me if I wanted to do the job for Counter-Strike. And I said yes, why not? Because obviously German CS, back then it was like at the beginning of 2022, was not in a good spot and is still not in such a good spot. I mean, we were never at the top, but at least in my generation with Next, Speedy and stuff, we were at least at all the big tournaments, always. But we never won a really big tournament, obviously. And our mission is now that we want to scout talents from a really young age and want to help them develop in like good players. Because, for example, in my case, I had always problems with my nerves when I was getting on stage or before big games and so. And I had access to a sports psychologist when I was 23 or 24, I think. So we already want them to help them in these areas and also with fitness and stuff when they are still young with 17 and 18. And he was actually at the XPERION NXT scouting event. We had like 2 events last year where we are, like you could, I forgot the name in English. But you could write to us that you want to be a part of that.
Sure, apply, yep.
Yeah, apply, exactly. And then it was actually also here and in Berlin. And they were playing against each other 5v5, and then we were watching them, and at the end there was like 5 players picked for the NXT team. And he was also part of that, and there are like really many young players now that we have also in the Esports Player Foundation. Some people are even 13 or 14 or 16, like main age is 16.
You have to say that, right? Because we're in Germany, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. But the main age is 16, 20, like higher than that. We don't focus on that area. There are like some exceptions, but I mean, you know it yourself, if you didn't make it at least to the top of Germany within the age of 20, then you probably have no chance to be at the top international level. And that's our main goal, to find these players and bring Germany forward. So that's how we found him within these scouting events. And yeah, like I said, there are many people or many players who have a lot of potential. Because the generation after me, of course, there were some people like Faven and Crimbo and stuff, but there were not many players who could keep up to the level of the international top class.
Sure.
And, yeah, we try to change that. We have like a good infrastructure with many professional players outside of the game, like I said, sports psychologists, sports people, fitness people, it's like also nutrition people, and we try to optimize all these areas and help the people in there, because obviously the organizations the young German players often play in, they don't have the financial opportunities to even provide that, so that's our main goal.
Yeah, okay. So Rhyzar, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been playing Counter-Strike for?
I started playing, I think, 2021.
Jesus.
Maybe even 22.
He has not seen your game live. I can tell you that.
I even asked him last year when he was in the arena, did you ever watch that or did you know how it is? No, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Bloody hell, okay. 22, okay, so only a couple of years.
What? Sorry?
You've only been playing a few years?
Yeah, I've only been playing for like, I think 3 years now.
Were you playing something before Counter-Strike?
Yeah, Minecraft.
Makes sense for the generation. Okay, so
better than Fortnite. Better than Fortnite.
Yeah,
love this answer.
So Minecraft. What got you into Counter-Strike?
My real life friend actually. They were playing like Wingman 2v2.
Okay.
And like I don't know. They just started to invite me. It was lockdown back then.
Yes.
So yeah, I had nothing to do, so I just decided to join them kind of. And yeah, now I'm the only one playing. The other ones all quit, but I guess that's okay.
What this might be a tough question, so if you can't answer it, don't worry about it. But what captivated you about Counter-Strike? When you started playing, because you've only played it for a short period of time, so this is still a recent memory, or it should be. What made you fall in love with Counter-Strike?
I don't know, to be honest. I just enjoyed the game. I wasn't really playing competitively till like 1.5 years ago. I was playing matchmaking before and doing stuff like playing only Scout for 1 month and stuff.
Okay.
I think that I don't know, I just fell in love with the game and started to take it seriously, and yeah.
Nice. Okay. Who's in the team now? Because last time we were here, Crimbo's brother was in the team.
Yeah.
Is he still in the team?
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Okay.
The team hasn't really changed much. We got a new AWP. His name is PXSL, Pascal. Yeah, and that's basically it.
So what are you guys playing in? What type of tournaments?
We're playing ESEA, and the first division of the German league. Yeah, but that's about it. We don't play qualifiers and stuff. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
No major qualifiers anyway, so no chance. It is what it is. You're fine
Wow,
with
way
this.
to get depressing about
This
this.
little kid will never qualify for
That's
the major.
not true at all.
Thank you, Chad, for making this.
You make it sound like I work at Valve.
You made this happen, literally.
Wow. Okay. Do you make him, you know, you make the boys, you ever sit down and you say, listen, boys, we're going to watch a game, you know, and you show them one of your matches from back in the day?
I always have like regular talks with them, with all the talents from the Esports Player Foundation, and yeah, sometimes I try to help them because I obviously have been through a lot of stuff. I have been through a lot of criticism, but also I had like good moments. So I try to help them there, and obviously I also give them tips. But we also have like coaches within the Esports Player Foundation, for example, also NKJ, who was the coach of Mousesports and NVS and stuff. And they have like coaching sessions within every week, like 2 or 3, 4 hours, something like that. And they go in depth with them, and they try to help them within the game. I sometimes also watch with them, or I will mainly help them build them a routine, or if they have like problems within the team also. When they're, I mean, you know that yourself also, that you sometimes have like heated discussions also in the team. You sometimes insult each other also when it's getting like really hot at the top. And I try to help them how to give proper criticism and maybe have some team talks and stuff like this. Like I said, build a routine, or just talk with them in general. Then I also have talks with the coaches, how their development is and stuff. So I try to coordinate everything between the coaches, sports psychologists, and the players themselves. And obviously also have tried to help them within the game, tips from my experience.
Two questions. Have you shown them your Reddit?
My what?
Your Reddit. Your subreddit.
Actually not, no. I think it was
well, that's
a secret.
Also, the comeback against iBuyPower was that one?
Actually, when I was watching FaZe, and I did this comeback. It was actually kind of, but it was iBuyPower after, so I don't know, you know.
Liquid iBuyPower, it's kind of the same, no?
Yeah.
So. But it's an inspiring. There was a little frag movie about that I have saved from the olden days. It was so good.
The olden days.
Was it? I think it was. They won the first half 13-2, and then we won 14-1, and then we were the major playoffs, right? It was
yeah. And then you went to Mouse, and then Crystal was mad. And
I actually just also a story because Christian Lenz was the manager of Virtus Pro back then.
Yeah.
And we were playing against them in the first round of the playoffs, and obviously Speedy and me met Lenz at the airport, and. We were completely lost because we didn't have a manager back then, and we were just flying to Sweden. We didn't even know where to go, and I met him, and he's like, Dennis and Speedy, right? Yeah. And I asked him, where do you need to go? And I said, no, to the major. And we didn't even know which bus to take and stuff. Then he bought us some drinks, took us with them. And actually, when we were playing against him, Pasha was going to Christian Lenz, and he said, Lenz, who are these guys? He said, I don't know, but I think they are pretty good. And I said, oh, really? Okay, then we need to take them seriously. Obviously, we had no chance because we're still inexperienced, and it was pro after all. And yeah, but it was really funny times back then. And that's how I got to know Christian Lenz, 10 years ago now.
Yeah, I saw him the other day, only briefly. We were in a coffee shop.
Really?
Yeah.
He's here?
Yeah, well, he was then. I don't know. I haven't seen him since. It was like 4 or 5 days ago now. But you still playing any CS yourself? You still play, or?
Sometimes, but not that active anymore because I don't know. I spent like 20,000 hours or so in the game, and then after that I want some time off.
Yeah, fair enough.
And, but right now, after this tournament, I probably want to do a comeback again.
Yeah.
It's too late, but yeah. Sometimes my fingers are a bit itching, but not really active anymore.
Okay. Well, look, we got a little quiz we like to do on this show, but the two of you, I believe, are going to be against each other. Is that correct, Prof?
This is correct.
Okay, and the quiz will be about, well, if he's only started playing since 21, how's he going to get any answers?
I don't know.
Right?
I offered to give him some questions, but he didn't want to cheat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire, right? This is with our sponsor, Skin Place. Now, this is for the people in Twitch chat. Are we giving away the book?
We're giving away the book, so this is how it's gonna work. Just to you both take one of these. We have 10 questions.
I'll have the questions here.
You start reading the question. Whenever you guys want to answer the question, you do the buzzer, answer the question. First guy to 5 answers decides who gets the book from the audience. That's how it works. Pretty simple.
But I feel that you have a massive advantage.
My memory is erased. I don't.
Mate, the fact he's only been playing for 3 years.
He's been to like more Colognes than years of CS experience on the other side.
If he's 18, what's 18 times 2?
36, yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'm double his age.
Yeah, I'm almost double his age, yeah.
Fucking hell. All right. So we're going to do Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire, brought to you by Skin Place. That's skin.place. Are you gentlemen ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Confident. All right, let's get into this. You heard the rules. First to 5, give away the book. People at home in chat, type Skin Place in chat right now for your little raffle ticket to enter the draw. You might be winning. I guess, are we just going to give them the max prize?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, a $50 skin from Skin Place. All right, great. That's great for the people at home. All right, let's do this. Lucas, question number 1. Which team has never won an IEM Cologne? Astralis, Liquid, or Fnatic? Denis.
Astralis.
Locking in A, Astralis. And the correct answer is ding, 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 Astralis. We got the music on my laptop. This is great. I don't get this at home.
Nice. Because you're on the wrong
You guys hear this every time? Damn. All right. This is
Yeah.
pretty cool. I've worked it out now, finally. All right. Well, 1 for Denis. Maybe we have to cheat and give Rhyzar some answers. We'll see what happens. All right. Question number 2. Which team or teams have won Cologne twice? SK, Na'Vi, or SK and Na'Vi? Denis.
SK. Oh, was it? I think it was.
Well, I'm going to lock in ASK. The correct answer is SK and Na'Vi.
Wrong answers.
He can talk shit. He just can't get any right. All right, all right. Which years did Na'Vi win? Because it was 21, and when it was came out of the pandemic.
And 2018.
And 2018.
The Zeus game against Astralis.
That was it. Yes, yes.
Pandemic doesn't count.
Yeah, okay.
And also...
Because it was in a hotel in 2021.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, question number 3.
You can also just buzz and wait for the audience to help you. This is also possible.
Okay.
What year did Big make it to the grand final of Cologne? Denis.
2018.
Okay. I didn't even need to read out the options. You guys knew what they were going to be. 2018, locking it in. The Smooya era, we call that one.
Yeah. But that was a sick IEM Cologne.
Oh, yeah.
The atmosphere was insane.
I remember Legia like running out in front after winning rounds and shit. I'm like, surely that's illegal. Like, he can see the screen. Like, they just won a round. They didn't win the game. Like, what's going on here? Damn.
That's pretty sick.
He was still 3 years away from even playing Counter-Strike.
I thought you were going to say 3 years old.
No, he would have been 12.
That's crazy. Great math.
But
Definitely in Minecraft era right then. Yeah.
All right. I didn't even have a PC when I was 12. Question number 4. 5? Whatever.
Yeah.
You keeping count? Question number 4.
2-0 for Denis right now.
At IEM Cologne 2022, what was the final map of the legendary best of 5 series between Na'Vi and FaZe? Inferno, Nuke, or Overpass?
Who was first now? Was it me?
I don't know. Prof?
Did you press it?
We'll give him a chance.
Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance.
I think it was Nuke, but...
We're locking in Nuke?
Let's go.
All right. Well, it was Nuke, because that's where the Twist Canada round happened. Yeah. He's on the board, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd are happy with that one. All right, question number 5. What is it, 2-1?
2-1.
Right. The opening ceremony of IEM Cologne 2023 had who as the conductor? Was it A, Banks, B, Machine, or C, OJ Borg?
No, it was me.
Okay.
Machine.
That's, well, wait, I should let the thing do the thing.
Let's do the thing.
It was Machine, correct. 3-1.
Hesitation right there.
I would have guessed Banks.
Oh, okay, well, lucky you didn't buzz. All right, question number 6. This one's not to win. We're still not there yet.
Yeah.
Which
3-1.
iconic organization hasn't won both Cologne and Katowice? hasn't won? Is it A, G2, B, Fnatic, or C, SK?
We're waiting for the chat, sorry. You can't look at the chat. Or
it's OJ Borg, not OG Porsche. Oh shit.
The chat wrote SK.
All right. Well, he's playing with the tools he has.
He didn't say the answer was SK. He just said
he's playing with the tools he has. I respect this. So 2-3. We've got 4 questions left. Question number 7. Which of the following players has never been a Cologne MVP? Is it A, coldzera, B, Twists, or C, ZywOo?
This was...
The crowd are trolling if you go with that answer. Oh, shit.
Let's go.
Twists.
Yeah.
Locking in B, Twists, and the correct answer is... B, Twists. I heard people in the crowd say ZywOo.
Yeah, they probably think it's true, though.
2019.
Because he never won it.
2019, when Vitality were in the final, ZywOo's one of ZywOo's first big events.
Yeah.
Because he had just come onto the scene in late 2018 with Vitality roster coming together.
Because it's just the mental hysteria of like hating ZywOo that he never performs in playoffs. And that 2019 he was not the best player and blah blah. Like, it's just the it's
Calm
the
down.
agenda. It's the anti-ZywOo.
It's the woke mind virus.
It's the woke mind virus.
All right, we're tied up 3 apiece. Question number 8. What's the best result Mouse has ever had in Cologne? Is it A, 2nd place, B, 3rd to 4th, or C, 5th to 6th?
I think it needs to be 3rd to 4th. Oh, I don't know.
Are you locking it in or no?
Just lock it in.
Okay, locking in 3rd to 4th, and the correct answer is 5th to 6th. This was not last year, the year before, 2022, when the Mouse roster was like Torji, Dexter.
Was with JDC also, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost in the quarterfinals, like Mouse tends to do.
So bad.
Okay.
All right, well, I don't know if we're going to get to 5.
Well,
we got 2
when
left.
we finish.
We see who wins.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 9. Which face is not about ESL1 Cologne? Oh, sorry, which fact? Not which face. It's hard to read. Which fact is not about ESL1 Cologne 2015? First major for Brazil, autograph stickers, last major for Sponge so far. Wow. That's nice.
What?
Which one of these is not true? It was the first major for Brazil. That's when autograph stickers were introduced, or it was my last major. Which one is?
2 are true and 1 is not. Which one is not true? I'm not talking into a microphone.
That means that no Brazilian team won it, right? Oh.
The first major win. First major win for Brazil.
Yeah, first major for Brazil.
Now that I've read this question 6 times, I still don't even know. Like, I probably read it wrong. Correct answer is first major for Brazil.
Ooh.
I like the so far though. That's really kind. I'll make a comeback. It'll be me and Dennis. We'll get Spitty. It'll be great. All right. Question number 10. Dennis can get 5 right here, right now, or they could tie.
In which case, I feel like since Dennis missed 2,
you're going to give it to Rhyzar.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't lost yet. Let's get there when we get there. Question number 10. Combined prize pool of Cologne events since 2014 is roughly 4 million.
Here we go.
Okay, since it's pretty, like, it was a early major, I think it's 4 million.
Wait. If it was, mate, if we were getting 4 million prize pools back in 2014, Jesus. It's combined prize pools of all the Cologne events since 2014.
Oh.
So 4 million, 6.5 million, or 9 million?
I will not tell you.
Okay, then 6.5 million.
It's not a bad guess.
He's going for 6.5?
It's not a bad, you've got middle of the pack. I don't hate it. It's not a bad guess. Correct answer is, he's done it. Which makes it now that, yeah, because the early days, what would it have been, 100 grand?
Yeah, 250, whatever.
Yeah, fuck all.
250, but then it was a major one time, so it was 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the early majors were only 250, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Wasn't it
like
1 million?
20.
Yeah, because I just know when I came last place, you only got 2.5. Back then, I think when we had signature money, we made probably per person 12,000 Australian dollars each. That's not good.
Compared to today.
But it was a couple months worth of rent, I guess. Yeah. But okay, well you're tied. But I guess by your logic, that means Rhyzar wins.
Yeah.
Rhyzar, you get to pick this HLTV. I guess is it a lookbook?
It's a photo book.
It's a photo book, not a
lookbook,
lookbook.
bro.
Now you need to give that away. You don't get to keep it to somebody in the audience. Who wants the book? Now you have to pick. You got to look at all these faces. You got to humanize all these people and go, which one is going to go home with joy tonight?
So I
just walk over.
Go for it. Whatever you feel. However you're feeling. Look at him. He's sussing it out. This is a big call.
What did he say?
I don't know.
An XUC reference.
What's the X? Oh, book. Yeah, great reference. What did he say?
Gomme. He said für Gomme, which means, or better said, Gomme is a German Minecraft server.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well done.
Know that.
Well done. Well done.
It's probably the most iconic and the most popular.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, no. You and me both. You and me both. All right. Let's. Was?
Was? I don't know. What did you say?
Something
Another
is
server
better.
Yeah.
I thought he said halt the Fresser, and I was like, whoa. Whoa. Holy shit. Okay, the winner online is Nuttall1. Congratulations. Our people reached out to your people. $50 voucher to use that skin place. All right, gentlemen. The last couple of things we want to talk about is how do we fix Big Clan?
I prefer not to speak.
Oh, dear.
No, I don't.
Oh, shit. Can I ask? You're going to say the same answer, but I'm going to ask because I want to see your facial reaction. What happened with God being big?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I want to know. I want to find out.
I mean, I don't. You know how it
Sounds like a mutiny.
Yeah, no, not really, I think.
Oh.
But sometimes, you know how it is in professional teams, if it doesn't go the way that you wanted, you just search for some things that you want to change. I mean, I really don't know the exact or the details why this happened, because I was not so deep in contact with the big players anymore. But yeah, I guess the reason was just that they feel like they didn't develop anymore and they wanted to try something else. And I also think because of the combination of tabseN and Goppy, because they were playing together since, I don't know, how long now? 9 years or so?
Yeah, NRG days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Goppy was kicked out of Mousesports back then from our team, I think after that he went to NRG and then he teamed up with tabseN. And I think if you have this for this long, and he was also like the in-game leader of Big, I think at some point you need a change, because when Toby was there, it was like a different view when Goppy was playing Valorant. They were kind of successful, and I think they were hoping for the same again, that when they get a different view on their team again, or like Toby's also back now, and obviously again, that they will be better again, because they want to be at the top again, because they're at some point online they were like the best team in the world during the pandemic, and obviously they want to be at these, like they want to be in the Lanxess arena, and they want to play all these big tournaments. That's like their goal, and that's also what they invest and what their foundation and what they build for. So I guess that was the main reason, because they wanted some fresh wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the main reason. Maybe they didn't agree with some views of him anymore. And like I said, I think the main reason is that the management also thought that the combination of tabseN and Gopp just doesn't work like this anymore, because they're like, It was the same like
to run its course. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
it.
It was like at some point the same with Speedy and me. I mean, we were playing together for I don't know 9 years or so. But that's also the thing that you need to have when you have a player. Also Get Right and Forest. I think I don't know really that much, but you still need to be able to criticize each other. Like it's not because he's your friend since many years or so. It's not like that you cannot criticize him or that you need to criticize him the same as your other teammates and need to give him also. You need to flame him or sometimes even insult him if he does bad stuff in game. So you need to have that. And like I said, I think, like you said, they just run its course, and I think it was over now. But like I said, I don't really know all the details and stuff. But as far as I know, it was not the decision of both of them. I think Gopi wanted to stay. He also wrote it on Twitter that he was thinking further already because they were reaching some playoffs also from Blast or so it was, and was thinking about other stuff already, but I think it was a surprise for him, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Rhyzar, if people want to watch you guys play, where could they watch you play? When are the next matches you got going, mate?
They can watch us play at on the XPERION NXT Twitch account, and yeah, I guess on the DACH CS, on the German league.
Okay.
Account.
Is Alternate Attacks in there?
Yeah.
Are they the best team in there?
Yeah, I guess so.
Arguably.
Arguably. Okay. Are you guys where are you guys in that list?
Since the league is kind of new, we just
It just got up from last season. Like they were second division, and now they qualified for
You're
the
playing with the big boys.
We weren't invited to the first division.
Nice.
Season.
Not invited, you qualified.
Yeah, you don't want to get invited. You want to qualifying's better than being invited.
That's true.
Okay, so have you played any matches in there yet?
No, not in the first division.
Okay, when does it start?
I think in early September.
Okay, so you got some time.
Yeah.
All right, nice. All right, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Anything that you want to say before we let you go?
Just everyone have fun in Cologne and just cheer for every team like it is always in Cologne, and yeah, just have a good time.
Awesome. All right, thank you, boys. All right. Thanks, mate. All right, well, we're at that point of the show. Thanks, man. Have a good one. We're going to bring Striker back.
That's true.
And we're going to bring out Yanko.
Yes, I'll also just run over there to do something.
You're going to the bathroom?
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to take a piss.
All right.
I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah, fair
I'll
enough.
Just say it.
You go and do that. I'll just sit here alone. But we'll get Yanko out here. Here he is. And Striker's coming back as well. Oh, is that your phone? You left your phone there that whole time. What were you doing? Didn't your Zoomer brain just go, fuck, I don't have my phone. I can't look at TikTok.
I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about the phone being there for a while.
Yeah, I bet you were. Yanko, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Chad. This is like, you're 30 minutes late compared to when I was supposed to be on, so thanks for dragging it out with Maniac.
Sorry, man. How many beers you had?
Just enough.
Okay.
To not get cancelled and be funny.
Nice. That's the perfect mixture. That's what we're looking for.
Good balance.
Should we talk about G2?
If you want.
Well, I like talking about G2. People think I'm a G2 hater. You got some fucking...
I think I'm a G2 fan.
Yanko, you got some Serbians on the forums who fucking coming after me all the time.
I wouldn't know. I don't read them.
Have a word to them right now.
Nemojte da dirate Chada, molim vas. Osetljiv je. Shvata vas previše ozbiljno. Pustite ga na miru, dobar je. Krsta mi.
Exactly. What Yanko said. What did he say?
I have no idea. I don't understand.
We need a prof here for that?
I very barely understand any of the Balkan languages.
Fuck.
It's very hard.
It might be over. But that lower bracket run, what I compared it to was FaZe 2017 New York.
But that was not even lower bracket.
I know, but we haven't seen that type of
it was like
smashing.
Astralis in China somewhere. I don't Beijing.
Beijing Haidan?
2019.
Fuck off.
No, not the online one. I'm talking about Beijing in 2019.
I don't think it was online.
Because they were playing against, I was playing against them in the semifinals.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, my boys were in the final.
16-2, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't realize that actually. But yeah, that's the one.
It's fine. They also 16-0 me with MIBR.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, great. It's
not them.
Just keep the pain going. It's us. But what do you think about the form that they're in? Like, it's pretty remarkable.
I think it's insane. I think also they are 15-3 in pistols. this tournament, and they have 100% second round win rate after that. So it's just great starts that then convert into playing with a lot of confidence. Everyone's on point. Malbs is insane. We asked Nico on the desk, like, because I know he values Rain a lot as well when it comes to aim, but he says this kid is just on a different level when it comes to quickness, right? Like, he's so quick, so snappy. And, you know, even you saw in all those games, like Mirage T-side against Astralis, I mean, the pain game throughout, it's just confidence, playing with confidence, just running around, you get the kills, like you get 2 kills in the first 20 seconds of almost every gun round, and then the game is super easy, right?
Yeah. Well, we're here to talk about the playoffs with you. So we're going to do a bit of a playoffs preview for everybody. Starting tomorrow, first quarterfinal is going to be FaZe versus Saw. We had the Saw boys here earlier, and then the second one will be Mouse versus G2. And there was the interview that you guys did. I think was it Mira who did it with Nico, and he seemed, I don't want to say he seemed cocky, but he seemed confident. No, I don't think he was cocky. I think Nico knows how good he is, which he should.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, that's the Nico we were missing, right, for a while.
You know what? It was funny, and I can say this year I couldn't tweet it out because, you know,
the internet
everyone's going
and
to
all
say,
that.
oh, yeah, you're just glazing Nico, right? But you guys did an interview with ropz and Nico, right? And the headline for the ropz one was,
I'm not
like simple, Zaivu, Donk. I don't know why people, you know, treat me like that. And then the Nico one was when he said, I didn't want an IGL because I still feel like I can be one of the best players in the world. And when I opened Reddit, those were like one under the other, right, on the front page. And I had a tweet ready, but I'm like, I can't handle the fucking,
backlash,
you know, backlash from this because it's so good. But I think it's pretty cool talking
But it's a
about,
great, it's a great contrast.
like the mindset of the players, right? Which is both are fine, really. Like, it's not like, ooh, ropz is like, whatever. He
Pussy
just, like,
or
doesn't see
whatever,
himself.
Whoa,
doesn't see
Striker?
himself in that light. He's just
The
like,
cats aren't here.
you know, doesn't want the spotlight, and he's just doing his thing. And yeah,
I think ropz's thing might even stem from all this bullshit about the fucking Porsche. Like the fact that really, like, if I put myself in ropz's position, ropz has always seemed like a nice guy. He's never really been like a cocky guy, nothing crazy or anything like that. He's a good Counter-Strike player. He's definitely, like, as far as the upper echelon goes, he's entrenched within that. We expect him to have massive moments. That's with ropz. And then for him, I don't know like his background hugely, but he shares something with the community. And then now they shit on him for it because he's not playing good in the game that they watch. It's like, bro, what is going on?
Why would he care, though?
Because, like, Yanko, you're talking to the guy who cares about what the internet says all the time.
Exactly, Chad.
Yeah, well, ropz might have like a little bit of fucked in the head like meanness.
Someone should talk to him about it.
Well, it shouldn't be me. I'll tell you that much. Maybe we could both be really sad about it together.
I think that the thing is, like, maybe he was just referencing, like, some of these players are a little bit more flashy, a little bit more in the spotlight, right? I think from his role, it's more about timings and getting that one kill and just being annoying and all of that. And of course, the clutches that are also going to come. But yeah, one of the reasons why FaZe, probably the main reason why FaZe is in the playoffs is him playing better, number one, and then Rain also having an uptick as
Rain had some good maps. Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so where do we want to start? Do we want to start chronological order?
Sure.
Do we want to start general thoughts?
You say chronolytical?
The mind virus. That's the chronological.
You said chronological.
Yeah. Did I say chronological?
He's just trolling you. He said chronological.
It doesn't take a lot to troll me these days.
No, you told me, like, you were right. You don't hear, you know, as well
It's hard
when it's
to
back
hear
here.
from-
So
yeah.
I've got it in here. I
Nice.
hear everything.
Yeah.
what were you talking about? Chronolytical what?
Yeah, the chronological. Yeah. So let's start with the FaZe versus Saw matchup. I think the most interesting thing about that matchup for me, I don't think Saw are going to win. Hey, that's my laptop right now. I don't think Saw are going to win, but I don't know what type of Counter-Strike to expect from FaZe. I think the interview that Carrigan did, where he was saying that he's doing a lot more micromanaging right now,
Very interesting.
He was very
insight.
earnest about that.
Yeah.
It's something that Rain seems to want more of.
I think people misunderstand what that means. I think
You and Pimp had a kind of a go at each other actually on the podcast. Like, I feel like what he was saying didn't make any sense to me, to be honest. Love Pimp, though.
I love Jacob. No, I mean, it's just like people, when they say that, they think what it comes down to is it's not like that you're playing with no structure or too much structure or anything like that. It's basically when you give players freedom, like, they need to take initiative on their own, right? And I think Carrigan saw and felt that players were not taking enough initiative, right, with the freedom he was giving them, and that's why they were playing bad at some time. So micromanaging basically means, like, I'm gonna lay out the round maybe not from start to finish, but through some crucial moments. And then I'm going to say, okay, now we do this, now we do that. So he restricts the freedom that the players have so that he doesn't have to worry whether they will decide to, oh, I'm going to actually be aggressive this time or I won't. He won't leave it up to them. He's going to be the one who makes those calls. And I think once you start winning some games and playing better, then the players will get the confidence again. And obviously,
make those
I even
plays,
asked him this. I was like, do you think you'll have to do this in the arena? Because that's where you guys, you know, the players are relative to other players going to be much better. And he said, we'll see how it goes. I think for SAW, Arena, Counter-Strike, right, it's not just about the different way you play and there's more pressure. It's actually physically like getting used to playing in that big-ass arena, right?
And the
there's
sound
so much,
and everything.
the vibrations on the stage, you don't hear as well. Like you can't be prepared for that if you haven't experienced it. Just you don't hear sounds as much, right? It all affects the way you're going to play.
I spoke to Rain yesterday, so we did these like quarterfinal podcast. You and Alex did the semi-final one, right?
2v2.
Yeah. So I had Rain and Frozen, and I had Soren, I had Roman and MUTiRiS with me, and Rain was talking about this micromanaging thing. We asked about that. And he was saying, yeah, it's essentially not just going through the strat book and being like, oh, we have this round to solve this problem. It's like Finn actually coming up with the solution and just telling people what the round's going to be, like in freeze time, right? So maybe there does become too much reliance from some of these. Like I think Na'Vi is the perfect example of a team who is going to play from the strat book, right? Whereas like FaZe, they have players who they can, I think, get a bit more creativity out of. But let's do this. We'll get the thoughts of the audience, and then we'll give our thoughts, and we'll put in the result. Does anyone think SAW can beat FaZe? I think you might get outvoted here, guys. Who thinks FaZe is going to win? Oh, only a little bit. So
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of close.
So
it's because FaZe didn't come here.
Everyone loves an underdog story, Chad. Respect underdog.
Fuck, don't start that again.
Maybe I was wrong. I mean, just before we went out, I was like, you said something about like, or Denis said something about like, what Cologne always cheers for everybody, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen in FaZe versus SAW. I can tell you that.
You
much.
think it would just
maybe
would
I
all
was
be
wrong.
FaZe?
Maybe I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a nightmare game for SAW. Like first, it's playoffs, so arena. They're anti-stratters. You can anti-strat FaZe that are doing what on which maps. Like they don't even know what they're gonna pick or what they're gonna do on them. So that's already two big factors. Plus, it's FaZe that ramps up and had an insane comeback that failed.
But I don't know what FaZe pick against them. Maybe that doesn't matter. But I'm trying to think what the video would be.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Nuke's going to be decider anyway, like even if neither of them pick it.
I think because you're going to say, you know, Ancient maybe there for whoever, right? Like maybe even SAW if they, because Nuke was the decider last
SAW
time
picked it against them in London, Ancient.
Yes, but it was, they lost in overtime. They had a 10-2 T side, and you were like, oh, but the T side was so sick. Yeah, but it was because FaZe players weren't that great individually. You know, some of the key rounds, some was just failing or doing something stupid, right? Like not playing focused enough or anything like that. So I don't think that's going to happen this time around. It's when MUTiRiS and Roman were here, they were saying about how all their players are super sharp individually, like they're, you know, killing everybody really hard. We'll see how that translates to the stage, and I think also with their play style, I think they will be really excited on that stage. And you know, if I'm on FaZe, I'm just like game playing a little bit around that. You know, if I'm Carrigan, I'm playing map controlled and throwing some mini fakes to make them
rotate a lot,
and abuse that, right? Because I think it's going to be very hard for, so they're not going to be bad, but it's going to be very hard for them to play calm and poised, right? With all that noise and hype and just the adrenaline of being on that stage for the first time in your career.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for SAW. Anyone got anything positive to say?
I just hope that they are sharp, because that's a bare minimum to have a good game.
A competitive match.
Yeah.
That maybe
I think that's possible. I think that's possible, but I still think they're like huge underdogs, obviously, in this game.
I was just gonna say, like, touching on the subject we had with Kerrigan and micromanaging. I mean, he's been saying that for the past few tournaments where they did make the playoffs, but they didn't have that, you know, he called it killer instinct, you know, in those games anymore. Like that's the thing that we knew FaZe for such a long time. They lost that. And I mean, so far they haven't really shown that they have that exactly back, even though the Liquid game obviously showed something else. But maybe, you know, in the playoffs he's still going to come back. That being said, I don't think that's going to be against SAW, because there it is just about confidence. Like, we are just the better team. We're going to roll over them, you know, and that's how it's going to be.
Well, you guys did the article before coming in. I don't know who wrote it, but the one about, you know, is this make or break for FaZe?
Yeah.
Right? And I would say by making playoffs, they've achieved the goal, I guess.
Yeah, at least they're on the recovery, right?
I think more importantly, they're playing better. Like they could have beaten Vitality. That was a close game.
Could have won on Dust 2, yeah.
As well, right? Like, and the individuals are playing better and they're looking better and they're playing with more confidence, right? Like it was really poor
this one fly.
There's a few of them, right?
The last couple of tournaments, it was worrisome, right?
Yeah.
Now they're at least looking like the FaZe of old, even if they lose 5v3s on match point.
All right, MUTiRiS versus G2. I'm going to leave that in your hands because the older I get, the harder it is to hold my bladder for a 3-hour time period. So
Okay.
I need to go take a piss.
Go for it.
And I'll
Yeah.
mute my mic so you guys don't have to listen to it. But I could talk to you from the bathroom. How does that sound? No, Prof, take it away.
Yeah, okay, well, I can do this. So we're talking about MUTiRIS versus G2. Okay, this is... I feel like this is going to be an underwhelming game to watch. I unfortunately feel like everything is leaning in that direction. Can someone dissuade me from this thinking?
I was just going to say, like, based on exactly how they've been rolling every opponent, like it was just good starts every single time. Like they never got off to a bad start. Like imagine that happens in a game. Like will they be able to react to that? Because they haven't really met that apart from the Saw game where we knew where that went. Like from the beginning of Nuke, they were just on the back foot and they were never really recovered from that. And then same thing on CT side of Inferno. I mean, they just did not get off to a good start. They lost, I don't know, what was it, like just straight T side basically to Saw. So
yeah, I guess that depends whether you think that, let's say in any of the games for G2, Pain, Astralis, whatever, would losing Pistol affect the way they would play from that point on, right?
They're like 15-3 in pistols, right?
Yes, but meaning like would they play with so much confidence individually, or would they play more scared and then? Because if you just take the pistols away, instead of a 13-1, it would be a 13-6 or whatever it is, right? It's not that simple, but
it's also because of the economy, right? Like, I mean, you lose the pistol, you just don't make the force buy work, then you lose the first gun out, you're down 0-4, and then that's where you start playing differently, right? Don't have that confidence. So that's like, if that happens in a game, I'm curious how they will respond to that. I mean, they have the talent, obviously. For like Nico and Monesi, they will just step up in moments where they are in this position and they will be able to come back from that. But it's just not going to be as easy.
I think the same reason why you don't have faith in MUTiRIS is the reason why you have faith in FaZe.
Yeah.
Because you've seen FaZe do it before. Like on all different arena stages, you've seen those guys like pull miraculous rounds and games and everything. And for MUTiRIS, you're still like, well, this is where we've seen the least out of them. Right? Like when it comes to the biggest of stage, their one big arena win is against G2 in Chengdu, where G2 threw the game on overpass. Like, I don't know how they lost that game. And then they went up against FaZe in the final MUTiRIS and lost. And we were thinking, at that point, FaZe was just making final after final after final, and this was the first one they won. But after that, they went down, So they were right there for the taking, arguably, for MUTiRIS. Yeah. But it didn't happen. So for MUTiRIS, this is like a prove-it game. In a sense. Sure, G2 has been on a hot streak in the lower bracket, but you can also look at it this way, Spirit, obviously not themselves, right? You're playing Astralis, how good are they really? Okay, they lost to Navi and G2, but whatever, and then they played Pain. So maybe they just didn't play anyone who could properly test them from that point on. That would be like the counter argument. And MUTiRIS, sure, they're not as dominant in the group stages like we're used to seeing from them. You could say, oh yeah, they beat Complexity and I don't know who before that.
Falcons. I was just checking that actually because I couldn't remember.
But and they lost. Didn't they lose Vertigo?
Complexities has played better in Cologne than they have in previous tournaments, right? So maybe the way we look at the matchup is just a little bit skewed. But I think the problem is once you get to the players, again, it's a prove-it game for them. I think Torji has been really good. He's their maybe even best player in these big stage games, right? But it's up to the guys like Exertion and Jimpack, who are all really good players, Brolan as well, to now rise to that level of, or at least compete with the guys like Nico and Monesi and Hunter, which is a tall task, especially if they can continue playing the way they have. But that's how you need to get it done. You need to, and you used a great term, Chad, in the podcast when you talked about the potential Navi G2 matchup. It's like Navi just has a way of icing G2, like slowing them down and not letting them, making them uncomfortable. MUTiRIS has to do the same thing. No one's going to beat G2 if they can start the game 4-0 up, right?
Yeah.
And if they can win every round where they have 1 AK, 1 Galil, and 3 pistols, like the Malbs rounds on Ancient against Astralis, right? And then the next reset round, Monesi wins a 1v2, like out of nowhere where Stone, I don't know what he does, like doesn't kill him from behind. You know, these are 2 key rounds that if G2 loses, that game is completely different. But they've been winning every single of those rounds and then all the pistols, and that's why the scorelines are 13-1, 13-3 all the time.
I think, like, realistically, what angle is there for Mouse is just to be tactically better. And I think they need to be a shit ton tactically better to beat these guys that are on fire, right? Because if you go like Shui versus Snacks, Shui should be better. And they also have been together for almost a year now, 6, 7 months, 8 months since Brolan joined.
World Finals, right? He was standing in.
Almost 9 months now.
Yeah.
So they should have so much more in the playbook, but you need to go deep in the map to allow that playbook to come into play. Otherwise, you're just gonna if you get stomped like G2 stomped everyone, that doesn't really matter.
I mean, if
right?
you're looking at form, sorry, I mean it's obvious where that's leading. I mean, Mouse, especially if you look at also at EWC, they didn't do all that much. I mean, then they had a break, then they came into this tournament, and they haven't been looking that convincing. I mean, against Falcons, it was a 3-mapper that was relatively close. They played into Complexity, where they went down like 0-5, 0-6, and then Complexity did their usual thing where they just throw everything away. Just did a Complexity. We might as well just call it that now.
You just can't. You just can't.
That's the thing. And I mean,
they got blown out by Vitality. It was 12-0 first half.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. And then like they just haven't really looked competitive against all the best teams. So like into the playoffs, there doesn't seem to be anything.
But it has to change at some point, doesn't it?
I mean, of course, but there's
Isn't
just
that
nothing that's indicated that it will happen in this playoff.
Yeah, so that's why I think, like Yanko said, it's a prove-it game. That is it. If we want to believe in Mouse, they have to do it on the stage, and that means they have to, everybody besides Brolan in that team. Well, I guess Shui made it to a major grand final.
And that's unfair because if G2 does just come into the game playing on, the individuals are playing the way they have in groups, everyone will lose to them. Like, let's make this clear. Navi is the favorite in this bracket to win that. But if G2's players are playing like in groups, they'll beat everyone. No one will win a map off of them. Because that's just a crazy level of individual performance where you have guys just running out, like taking duels and winning every single duel all the time. Like at that point, there's no structure, there's no tag, there's nothing you can do about that. Everything you do in game, all the tactics, all the utility, all the setups are there to give your players advantages in fights, right? Like whether it's just through information or, this guy's blind, this guy's pushed, you're waiting for him, all this stuff. But if you do that and you're still losing duels, there's no helping you. And that's what G2 players are doing. They're winning even like the 30-70 duels, all that sort of a thing. And, that's pretty annoying, like the FaZe in 2017 in New York.
So we're picking G2?
Yeah, does anyone here think Mouse can win?
Even
one guy, he didn't even make noise.
It's just like
couple of hands. So
even the German crowd is not believing.
So I think the consensus is G2 are going to win that game. Okay, all right. So that leaves us with a Na'Vi G2 and a Vitality FaZe.
The Copenhagen Major semifinal rematch.
Giga bangers though. Absolute bangers. Like awesome games. Like big names. Exactly what the fans want. What the people want. It's provocative.
Gets
the people going.
Thanks, Yank. I'm glad someone got the reference.
And we'll stop there.
But I think looking at these two games, you mentioned the thing about Na'Vi. Let's start with the Vitality FaZe. I think that's got more interest. There might be a little bit more split. Okay? FaZe versus Vitality. Who thinks FaZe will win? I've never seen people so light on FaZe before.
Okay.
So I guess that means
with Vitality. Maybe they're just sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah, who thinks Vitality's going to win? It's not even close. Like this bloke's over here's wearing a Vitality jersey, so I know what he's thinking. But everybody else is a bit, okay, all right. So this is the problem. FaZe pulled off the unthinkable with the comeback against Liquid, which is essentially not the fuse being lit, that's the explosion. Like the fuse being lit was them being down 11-1. The comeback is the explosion, and now the team is, you would have this feeling that you, like going into the games, there's no expectation anymore. Like, at least that's how I would feel. Like, you're obviously in the playoffs and the pressure changes and it's still there, but 4 out of the 5 members know what it's like to win on this stage. They won Cologne 2022, right? They know that they're just as good as the rest of the teams in this bracket on any given Sunday. That's what this feels like to me, an any given Sunday type of scenario. I think Na'Vi is the best tactical team out of these 4. I think G2 has the best firepower on form currently. But otherwise, the defining factors between them is is very difficult. So I'm going to have a tough time.
We already saw them play once, right? And then
FaZe Vitality,
that could have gone either way at some point. Like it really could have.
I hate the way a lot of these teams are playing Dust 2. Get in lower dark. Play aggressive.
As in CT.
Yeah, get aggressive. There's not. I don't think there's enough of it.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw Vitality do that was like against Spirit in that game that like Spirit just like deflated completely. I don't remember which tournament that was anymore.
There's too many tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, how are we going to decide these, gentlemen? Does anybody have any strong feelings about either of these semifinals? Because I think that either of them could go either way.
I want to see how FaZe continue. I would go with, even if it's Saw, I just want to see if they're going to do the same things that they have done so far.
In what sense? Like the calling, like the.
No, not necessarily calling. I think it's more the individuals. You know, like if we see Rain and ropz.
Rain's been in good form.
Yeah, exactly. If we see Rain and ropz being in this kind of form, I think then that's that. I would put it to FaZe just because of kind of the momentum they're gaining from that kind of lower bracket final.
You give it to FaZe over Vitality.
I would do it if
really?
I see the same. If they are convincing against Saw, I think I would pick them.
Okay, so like a 2-0.
I don't know, but I don't.
Okay, you need to see the style.
I don't know what the
CS
maps would be at this point, so it's more like the style.
Does anyone have a strong feeling about it? I don't have a strong feeling about this.
I think it's probably a game that will tell us whether this Vitality roster can do anything or not, because they're at a point where they should be beating FaZe. Like with the lineup and how long they've been together and they've had experience and all that stuff, right? If they lose to FaZe, who was okay on the way back and whatnot, especially if it's not even a close game, like if they don't make it competitive, then, you know, I'm not going to say they're going to make a roster change. It's very difficult to do with all the logistics around the major and the RMRs and whatnot, but it's probably a sign that as soon as the major is over, they'll do something, because you can't have yet again, you know, good group stage play. You beat them in groups, then you beat Mouse after that as well, and then to have the same issues they run into a couple of different times during the year, especially if it's based around players not playing up to their level or not being as aggressive, playing more scared, anything along those lines. So I think it's a must-win for Vitality if they play against FaZe.
Okay, so both of yours are not based in like necessarily a prediction, but more so on like what it means to the team or what you could tell from. Okay.
I mean, if you look at form just at this tournament, I guess you would have to say Vitality.
They already
won
the first. Yeah, but it was a good series.
But also against Mouse, they looked very convincing. I mean, they're also running with a lot of momentum going to the playoffs, and this is the first time we've actually seen them be this convincing in a while. Because I mean, we've been talking about their T sides for a while, right? And then, I mean, now as they've been looking the best in a long time. So this would be the time for them to win that game, especially because FaZe actually did look still very vulnerable. I mean, they were supposed to not make it.
Yes.
So from that perspective, if you look at just
position.
form without like considering the previous matchup, without considering who FaZe are and what we know them for, I would say Vitality is probably edging it at this point just based on form alone. But like we know how it gets when you get into the playoffs games. Spinks still, I think, has a lot of proving to do in terms of being a elimination game, arena big game player, you know, stuff like that. He's always the one who's kind of taking a step back, and Flames is suddenly the one who's becoming the kind of the second star, punching up above his weight a little bit. So that's where I'm looking towards. You know, I think Spinks needs to be a more consistent second star for them in these games, for them to get these games over the line.
Sure, I've changed the framing. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
It's not who do we think is going to win. What do we think is going to be the best grand final?
FaZe G2.
FaZe G2, the best grand final.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be the most chaotic and like the most exciting 5 map ever.
Ever.
Every time we've seen FaZe and G2 play in these like crazy big games, it always like basically
that Katowice, right?
Like that Katowice like from 2 years ago. Yeah.
I don't think you can make an objective call on that.
Okay.
Because between these 4 teams, whichever combination of 2 teams you get, it's a great final. Like there's a storyline there. There's something there, right? G2 Vitality, rematch of Dallas. G2 FaZe. I mean, you had it 100 times.
Yeah.
It was always a banger. Navi FaZe, rematch of the 2022 final.
Major final as well.
Major final as well.
Major final as well. And then Navi Vitality. Is there any like, when did they, I guess that's the one that you probably want to avoid.
They played semi-final blast. No, nothing else.
That one I need to do a bit more digging on.
That one's like,
you know.
But
But what one would you like to see? He said G2 FaZe. You can have G2 FaZe.
Yeah, G2 FaZe. I'd like personally to see G2 FaZe.
I like Navi FaZe, to be honest.
Because the major rematch?
Major grand final.
I think, like, in terms...
Problem is, though, sorry, but that's like, all the FaZe fans want a rematch to show him like it was a fluke, but now it's twice the team that were at the major. And FaZe is like playing worse than they did then. So, you might think you want that, but you probably don't want that.
I think the thing is, if it is a G2 phase, then anything does become possible in terms of the match because of the type of CS that will get played. Whereas if it is Na'Vi phase, I'll be back in Na'Vi every day of the week.
I mean, also something that we didn't really talk about is when you talk about Na'Vi, like, sure, they won EWC. It was convincing. It was impressive how they bounced back after the first map loss against Mouse and against G2, right? But one of the reasons why they're #1 right now and why they're so dominant is that Bit is consistently playing really well.
Good. Yep.
Right? Like, he was the guy who obviously turned it on in the grand final of the major, and especially on Inferno, and that was the difference maker, basically. So it has to happen in the semifinal as well. Like, the problem would be for Na'Vi if all of a sudden that doesn't happen, right? And some of the players fall off individually compared to what they've been showing us in these other tournaments or even in this tournament in stage 2. So yeah, that's, again, I think they'll be fine. Like, I don't expect them to play worse, but if they do, that's going to be a problem for Na'Vi moving forward.
They play with more confidence now, for sure. Yeah. You see that within the team overall. But yeah, Prof, what about you?
What is the question exactly?
What final do you want to see?
I said the Na'Vi phase.
Oh, that's right, you did say
that.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, elaborate. Sorry.
I mean, just the rematch of the major. I think it would be very fun. Just like vibes, just vibes. I'm actually more excited for the Na'Vi G2 game. I'm curious how that goes, and I would be very disappointed if Na'Vi don't at least make it very challenging for G2. Like, I think they should win it based on history and everything, like the styles. I think they should. This is a game where they should have the upper hand, right? If they are the team that they want us to believe they are.
But imagine if G2 just run over Mouse the same way they've got everybody, and like, how do you look at that?
It's not even that. It's like, this is the problem. This is what the Na'Vi players said in the podcast that we did with them as well. It's like they beat G2 so many times, like just by the whatever law of averages or whatever it is. Like, they have to lose eventually.
Yeah.
If you had G2 play, I don't know, Complexity 5 times, Complexity is going to beat them 1 time.
Sure.
Somehow they will beat them 1 time, right? So it's the same story here, where even for Na'Vi a little bit is like, every time you're worried, like, is this going to be the time? And this would be the worst
It'd be the worst
moment
time,
for it to happen. But,
well, no, it would have been the major one. It would have been the worst possible moment for it to happen.
Yeah, but I think, there's a reason why they're beating G2. So it's not like G2 is confident because eventually it has to happen. No, they're uncomfortable because this team has been beating them all the times, and they've been vocal also in interviews or when we've talked to them saying, yeah, that's the most uncomfortable team to play against. It's really hard to play against them. You're almost always in the dark, right? Like, you don't have good information and so on. So yeah, I think hopefully we get that semifinal just for that, right? To see how it unfolds this time around.
Yeah.
But I mean, we saw from the...
We're not picking anybody.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, we can make it. We can make it G2 phase, but that's why I pivoted the question.
Okay.
Would you like me to do it?
You can do whatever you want. It's your world. We're just living here.
Who wins?
If it's that final, I think G2. I think at that point, they've amassed so much fucking momentum from the groups, and they finally get over the Na'Vi hump that they just win the whole thing. Why are you looking at me like this? I'm very...
No, look, that's why I didn't want to go down this route. I want to just leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
Because we're speculating, like right now, we're in a period where there isn't like Na'Vi are the #1 team in the world, right? Spirit would have made this the top 6 teams in the world if they didn't fuck everything up. And we would have, like it's too hard to call. Counter-Strike at the moment, like, I saw you responding to a message in the Discord today about someone asking about S-tier teams or whatever. We have a lot of good teams at the moment. There are a lot of teams playing very high caliber Counter-Strike, or at least the output of the individuals is very high. And like we said, with these 2 semifinals, no matter what we're going to get, it's going to be entertaining, or at least it should be. So any grand final out of those 4, if that's what we see, it should be entertaining. We're going to have 5 maps. It's hard to see, like, it's hard to live up to some of the legendary finals of the past. You don't know what's going to happen to play into that. But regardless, it should be good matches. We're not sitting here looking at a shit bracket looking at a bunch of like teams that got through that shouldn't. This isn't like the Paris major or anything. This should be good.
There's 5 out of the top 6 teams in the world.
Just spirits.
And Saw, who's played like one, right?
Yeah.
Like, and what we were talking about in that is it's matchup dependent, right? Navi owns G2, Spirit owns Navi, G2 owns Spirit, right? Like you have these matchups there like that. And I also saw the content you did with the IGLs. They're saying there's no meta.
Yeah.
Because everyone does everything. Everyone knows how to do everything. So it's mostly about who's more on point on the day, right? Who's a little bit more sharp, who's a little bit more prepared. And Counter-Strike comes to a couple of key rounds, right, in a game who turn a lot of momentum and the economy, and in MR12 it matters even more. So it's going to come down to who makes less mistakes, fewer mistakes in those crucial moments. I think if Navi goes in the final, they beat whoever comes on the other side, because in a best of 5, they just have a big advantage. I feel like their map pool is pretty deep. G2 FaZe would be interesting because, neither team plays Vertigo. FaZe could get away probably with a different veto, but their map pools overlap pretty much, so you would get...
I mean, in the best of 5, it doesn't even matter. I mean, you just ban 2 maps and you play the rest, right? So whatever overlap is there, it's...
Depends on the matchup. Sometimes even the order...
I mean, if it's like different...
It's the best of 5 is the only time you want to be Team A in the veto, because you get the first and the third map, so arguably...
2 of the first 3, you could win the series.
You could win 3-0, right? Like, or something like that, and gets a little... And the picks matter. Like, I think... last year, Ants made a mistake in a best of 5 veto, right? Like, which is rare, but they didn't. They picked Nuke, right? Like as their pick, and it was the second map or the first.
I remember what you mean, but I don't remember the exact maps.
And then they had to play T. I think they were team A. The first map they picked Nuke, and they had to start the grand final playing T, which they're arguably like good on. But G2 started off strong, and all of a sudden they won only like 2 rounds on T or something like that. And G2 won that. Then second map was G2's pick, and all of a sudden you're 2-0 down in a best of 5.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to take some things like that into account. But yeah, in general, Navi has an advantage over any team, it feels like, pretty much.
All right, well, like we just said, we're going to have a bunch of good matchups coming. Tomorrow, I'm sure we'll see most of you there in the arena, in the Lanxess. But as usual, we've run over, almost an hour over.
You said we're going to do this in 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours on the nose, right? So we're going to close this down now because we've run, almost an hour over, and we've spoken about a lot of stuff. We had a lot of different guests tonight. Janko, is there anything that you'd like to say to the people at home or the people here?
No.
That's all right. That's fair enough.
Just thanks for everyone for showing up. Cologne is my favorite event every year. It's awesome, and it's all due to you guys filling up the arena, showing the passion for the game. You're the ones who make this whole thing go. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you guys for inviting me, even though I had to wait half an hour.
Sorry about that.
I won't hold it against you.
My apologies. Are you doing the first game or the second game tomorrow?
Both games.
Okay, well then that is a bit of a problem. All right, that's normally how my wrap goes. I wrap things up, and I thank everybody for coming, because it's always pretty surreal to have a room full of 100 people coming to watch a podcast as usual. Cologne is, I guess, the Mecca. It's where we come every year to enjoy good Counter-Strike, and we get it every single time. None of this fluke bullshit. So thank you for everybody coming. I hope everybody had a good time, and I hope that some of the conversations tonight you enjoyed, if not all of it. Big shout out to XPERION for having us again, 3rd straight year. I guess we'll be back in the future because things seem to go pretty damn nicely here, but I won't say that because that's up to Prof.
Amazing setup. The double screens,
so clean,
everything.
man.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
What's up?
Yeah, look, that's a different problem. We'll solve that one for next time. And shout out to the sponsor Skin Place, the new sponsor of the show. Anything else I need to say?
Buy the book at the ESL shop.
Oh yeah, so that book that we gave away before, that's available. You guys can head over to the ESL shop. There's a whole bunch of stuff and goodies over there to spend your time. There's heaps of stuff going on if you haven't been to a Cologne before. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for being here. And we'll see you guys over the weekend. Let's have some good Counter-Strike.
one thing remains the same. Victories with 1xbet.
Sell in-game items at the best prices in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. Skin Place. Sell items now.
Since the dawn of CSGO, we have been there. Observers of all that competition can reveal. Elation, fear, triumph and heartache reach out from every frame. From the small studios and conference rooms to the epic arenas, the feeling is still the same. We live and breathe this game. This was CSGO Through the Lens. Buy now at hltv.org/shop.